books that I've published next to me as well.
Perfect. And here we are live. And now I know it's Gareth's fault for the late streams.
It is tonight. Can't blame Dave tonight.
Putting it right on you, man. So as always, thank you to everyone who can join us during the live stream. I know between time zones, everything else, a big thank you to Team Rewatch, because it's not always possible to be here for the live conversation. Hey, Greg, thanks for joining. Now, tonight, I am honored to have Gareth, who most people may know from book streams and other magic. He's a booktuber, he's a book reader, he's a musician, he's a husband, he's a teacher. But tonight I'm speaking to Gareth, the author, and his published works, 2 of which I have, but I also know there are others. So, Gareth, how about you share the various works that you have? Now, tonight, we're going to specifically be talking about 10 Tales of Transformation, the Brown Yelp Gang, but you also have other books and other genres. So let's give a shout out to all those works.
Okay. Hello. Thanks, Elaine, for bringing me on. I appreciate it loads. And thank you for doing the readings as well. That was really lovely of you to read these. You read the No Sleep Till Corsilia, didn't you, from the first book?
I did.
And then you read some of the Brown Yelp Gang's book as well. So I'll try and do it in order, because the first thing I ever did was this. 10 Tales of Transformation. I think that was 2017, 2018.
I think so. Let me see.
2018. Yeah.
Oh, see, my copyright says 19. Hey, Rosie.
Oh, Rosie appeared. I got a little sign here from when I've had them displayed at festivals.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that was the first book. And I kind of developed my style of writing through the book. I mean, we could probably talk about it as we go along, but the stories increase in size as I get more confident and as I get more ambitious, kind of thing. So once I've written that, you right?
She's so adorable. Such a serious face. Hey, cutie.
And then I wrote that.
Okay.
So that's my first novel, Out Among the Ice Beacons, which I'm very proud of. I think it's quite different. And I had a really nice review from Michael K. Vaughan about it as well, which was really good. So,
nice.
But he said that there's one typo in it, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, no. So I didn't spot it, and the people that read it before didn't spot it. But there's only one, and I've read proper published books that have got typos, so I'll live with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
one is pretty good compared to some of the books I've read, and they've been like highly paid editors. I'm like, what the hell? You've been overpaid, because how'd you miss this?
Yeah.
Hey, Ben.
And then I wrote I wrote my first poetry collection. Do you want to share your thoughts on this, Rosie, or not? So Permanent Verb.
Okay.
It was quite a personal poetry collection. So it's quite a variety of subjects, but ultimately is a lot of stuff about mental health and happiness and stuff like that. So Permanent Verb, I'm quite proud of that. So there's that, and then I wrote. Oh, and then I got all my lyrics together in a book called Head First.
Nice.
So that's an old picture of me playing the guitar with long hair.
Wow.
But ironically, it's called Head First, and in my head, this is just like this. If this isn't evidence of me having ADHD, I thought the song Head First was in it, and it wasn't.
Whoops.
Yeah. So you started working on Head First. I was like, oh, I'm going to get the book out. And then I was like, oh my God, it's not even in it. And then the rest of the band are laughing their head off, going, I can't believe you. And I was like, I know, I didn't include it in there. But format-wise, I was pleased with the format of it more than the other poetry book, so that's quite nice. But head first is lyrics I've written over the years, and then I wrote probably the most ambitious thing I've done, which is the Brown Yelp Gang.
Yep.
Which obviously you've read, and we'll talk about that. And I then did kind of an ambitious poetry collection, because this is Voices of the City, where I tried to create a city where every poem's a different person. So there's about 60 poems in it, and so there's like 60 people.
Wow.
So it's like snaps of life, if you like, and some some of it's innocuous and like someone who can't find his keys, and sometimes they're just looking at the clock hoping that lunchtime comes, and some of it's more serious, like there's one with someone that's clearly an immigrant that's getting whispers on the bus because they're like, go home or whatever. So that's one of the poems. So Voices of the City is the kind of the last big thing I did, and then as a present to my kids, which I kept available, I did a very short poetry book called Poems from a Dad to His Kids.
Lovely.
So yeah, and there's like it's not very big, but there's about 20 poems in that.
Nice.
What do they call these? They call them. There's a name for really short books.
Novellas only, but that yours is poetry. So
yeah, no, there's like I think it might be also like a self-published short poetry thing. Can't remember what it's called. Maybe someone will say in the comments, but it's a bit like one of them, I suppose.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I've published.
Look at you, busy publisher. Hey, Kat. Awesome. Now, before I say hello, because we've been saying hi as people have popped in, it's the bonus to having a nice small group and a small channel. Where can people find your books for purchase?
So at the moment, they're all on Amazon, and they're on Amazon because, as far as I knew when I did the first book, that was the only place I thought you could self-publish. So I've since found out there's other places, and I'm looking into that, but I need to get some money together to get them reformatted and stuff, and then put them. I think Ingram Spark is apparently a really good place to self-publish. But at the moment, they're all on Amazon, and the advantage is it's a big marketplace, so you're supposed to be visible.
Yep.
But I don't really know if that's true, because I don't know how visible they are. I think they become more visible with things like this,
Right.
So I think they're just buried in billions of books that are on Amazon, But yeah, that's how you can get them. So they're all on the Amazon profile page. So you put in my name, they should come up.
Perfect. And that's actually how I found you. And I know there's issues with Amazon. To me, there's issues with every company, no matter how you look at it. And I'm sticking with Amazon for a number of reasons. One, we have Prime, which means here in Canada, I get free shipping. I can afford free shipping because I'm not farking rich. But here's the other bonus. And I live in Ontario. So yes, I know there's bugaboos and whatever happened in Quebec with Amazon. But here in Ontario, there are hundreds of people who are employed at the factory doing deliveries. And it may not show up, but it's actually your books are actually printed here in Bolton, Ontario, which
cool.
means other jobs for people in Ontario. Yeah. So I think this is when, and I'm not saying you have to stick with Amazon. Don't get me wrong, people. I'm saying you have to look at the big picture of what you're deciding and the ripple effect.
Yeah.
Much like this whole north-south buying border thing currently here. Again, there's a ripple effect. It impacts people's lives on both sides of the border. So make the decision that makes sense for you, that fits in your pocketbook. Don't do the knee-jerk, I hate Captain Makeup reaction because I hate him, but I'm going to be realistic what I shop and what I support. And if it means I can support amazing authors like Gareth and Margaret and Nicole and Chaz and so many others, I'm going to stick with Amazon because that's where I can find your works.
Yeah. No, and Amazon have made a big effort over the years to support independent self-publishing authors, haven't they? So yeah, you are right that there's lots of different layers. Yeah.
To everything, right? I mean, whether you decide to travel somewhere, what business you decide to support, what platform you decide to support. I mean, I know you've said you're on Erberg's Facebook. I won't support him, but that doesn't mean I think everybody else should leave supporting him because it keeps people connected. People can share information, all the rest of it. I choose not to, but I choose not to because I got tired of the drama-rama, all the rest of it. I think he's a piece of human shit. But there's a lot of good things to that platform that benefits many, many people.
Well, I wouldn't be on Facebook if it wasn't for the ban. So I wouldn't really probably be on social media, full stop. So it's ultimately a choice. Do you want to boycott stuff and not be visible at all and never get anyone to go to your gigs? Or do you want to actually compromise and think, well, I have to be on these things. Otherwise, there's no way that I can run a band.
And again, so that I call it hawk vision. You have to look at the big picture before making choices. And we're a bit off topic, but it ties in with this discussion. That's what made me so agitated about the banned book thing last year as I started getting involved in it, because MJ had it and I was doing the 24 in 2024. And the more I looked into it, and I looked between the three countries, US, Canada, and UK. And I mean, it happens in all of those as well as other parts of the world for different reasons. But what really was pissing me off is I was reading all these books people had put complaints in about. They didn't read the books. I'm like, WTF, I just spent how many hours reading material, most of it ironically rereading, so I don't know what that says about my reading choices. It was a nice revisit, including 1984, which I had purposely waited until 2024 because I first read it in 1983.
All right.
Now, it scared the hell out of me in 1983. Yeah. And I was a teenager, but I mean, we didn't have all that shit back then. We didn't have internet and home surveillance or any of that stuff, right? It just sounded Jetson science fiction. Mm. And I read it last year and went, shite! I thought this was bad in 1983.
Yeah.
Like, this is just blow my ponytail off my head insane in 2024. And I did it.
That was awful.
Yeah, well, I did a comparison because I thought, hey, Constance, isn't it interesting that and maybe someone else did, I haven't come across it, but so they did an up-to-date, Michael J. Fox, Future.
Back to the Future.
Thank you. They did a comparison because, of course, they didn't set it that far in the future, right?
Yeah, it was set a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
2019, maybe?
Yeah. Why would they do that? But nobody's doing comparisons of Orwell 40 years later. So I did one. There's probably others out there, but I'm like, oh my God, like now we have social media. We're doing things like this. You don't need the government to put that crap in your house like the character in 80. People are doing it themselves. They got Alexa. They got their home security. It's like, Who needs the government to put it in your house when people will pay for it? You know, and all Newspeak, Gulf of America. Come on, get that makeup shit off your face, because, dude, you're rotting your brains out. You're not promoting why women should wear makeup. Truly. Like, and then these yutzes who are like, oh, yeah, he's right. Oh, my gosh. But okay, we're getting way off topic. So first, let's say hello. We have Greg joining us earlier today, live stream from Margaret and Leo. Yay. Second live, Elaine and Gareth. Lucky day. Aw, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks, Greg. Me and Greg have been having chats backstage as well, like on Voxer. He's a lovely, lovely guy. So it's
awesome.
Nice friends.
He is amazing. And I love that he had watched when I was doing some Canadian humor videos. He actually knows some of the comedians I mentioned, and Red Green, loved Red Green. So he knows all the references. So amazing. We've said hello to Ven. Kit Kat has joined us, and a big shout out to Kat, because yesterday when I changed the thumbnail and the time, and then I went in and got that changed in StreamYard, and I'm like so proud of myself, didn't have to recreate the live stream. Yeah, I forgot to change the time. And Kat's like, are you live at 4? And I'm like, no. So I quit 4 o'clock today, went and changed it, going, whoopsie.
Thanks, Kat.
I was so proud of myself that, yay, I didn't have to recreate the stream, but whoops, forgot to change the time. And it was funny, speaking of Voxer, because Kat and I chit-chat every day. And so we're chit-chatting today on Voxer, and she's like, yeah, are you on at 4? And I'm like, no. And so I quick run in here and get everything changed. And she's like, yeah, I was wondering, because you're busy chatting away in Voxer. And I'm like, how's she doing this in a live stream? I'm like, Kat, you know I can't multitask. When I'm doing a live stream, I'm just doing a live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was weird. And I mentioned, what do you do? I'm like, phew. So thank goodness for Voxer.
Kat's reminded me I need to start eating my biscuits, because I've got ginger nuts.
Ooh, oh, see, she'd love ginger nuts. See, and I'm holding out till tomorrow because I have my apple caramel cheesecake for the big whoop, made it to 500. I can shut down my channel now. I'm in the goal.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Yeah, Thank you.
Me and Dave haven't got one tomorrow, so we're doing a week gap.
Oh, do you not?
Yeah, he's busy.
Busy. Well, life happens, right?
Yeah. Gonna dunk it. Gotta be timed correctly.
Yeah, gotta have that tea for cookie dunking. Now, ginger snaps, are they sort of, and I don't know if you even have them over there. They're in the little windmill shape. I love those cookies. And windmill I can't think of the company that puts them out, but they make them in a windmill shape, and they're so yummy. Every once in a while I get a craving for them.
I mean, there's obviously a big tradition of the gingerbread man, so you can have ginger cookies that are man shaped, but these are just straightforward, like a light wafer. So. Well, they're thicker than a wafer. They're like probably twice as thick as a wafer. If you imagine, that's a finger, so we'll say the same as a finger.
Yeah, nice.
They're very nice. They're one of my favorites, actually.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought the hobnobs were your big go-to.
One of my favorites.
Oh.
Yeah. Hobnobs are up there.
I don't think I've ever had a hobnob.
Oh, they're lovely. Any kind of oaty type biscuit is right up my street.
Now, do you like oats and raisin? Oatmeal cookies?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Well, when Kat and I were chit-chatting today just about life in the cosmos, and something came up about prices, and my husband was out shopping today to pick up a few things, and he had been looking for cookies. He's the cookie eater in the house. I am not. Chocolate bars, every once in a while I get that chocolate craving because gotta have me some chocolate, like turtles or things like that. And he's the big cookie eater, and he's running low on his cookie stash. And he was at the store, and the cookies, by the way, are still at the store. $10 for
What?
500-gram package of cookies. $10.
$10.
And those were the store brand cookies. We're not talking Peak Freens or the fancy smancy shit cookies.
That's crazy.
Oh, the price is nuts.
£1.50.
Wow.
£1.50, and they're awesome. And you get, it's quite a big packet as well, really.
Nice.
So any normal person would take a few days to eat that.
You're going to knock it off tonight, aren't you, Gareth?
Officially, no.
Officially, no. But yeah, it's wild. But yeah, so Kat saying, sneaking in a bit of post-work chaos before getting cleaned up. People saying hi to Kat, hi back and forth, which I love in this stream, by the way, is people are always so welcoming and hello to everybody.
Yeah, it's great when they have their own conversation, isn't it? It means
yeah,
a good time.
It's lovely. Yes, Ven is on vacation, finally, after his insane 12-hour shifts, everything else. Too fast. And yes, yeah. I know he has the kiddos right, as well. Right. Looking for my motive. You're not supposed to be motivated on vacation, Ven. That's the point of vacation. Gareth's full name. Awesome. Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Easier to search. Yep. And what I did is I typed in your name. That's how I found your books. But I think initially I was also looking for the Brown Yelp Gang. So when I typed that in, it came up. So if you know Gareth's titles or his full name, thankfully he's easy to find that way. Oh, yeah. And big news also. It's been an awesome farkin' week. Even though my husband's home all day. But, well, he had surgery on his hand last week.
Right.
They had to, this is what he gets for being Irish. He's got this thing, and I guess it is typical for Irish men, although it's funny, his brothers don't have it. He's the only one out of the four. And so there's all kinds of gnarly stuff with his tendons and ligaments. So his hands. So what they had to do is scrape all that crap off his hand last week. And he was going to be home for 2.5 weeks. So sweet. His doctor's like, what are you going to do at home for 2.5 weeks? He's like, probably drive my wife crazy. If I'm lucky, I'll be alive to go back to work. So he went to his appointment on Monday already with the surgeon to double check because his arm was all wrapped up to here so he couldn't move fingers and stuff. And now he's just got a little teeny bandage as of Monday because he's still got the stitches in. But they're like, well, you're fine. You can go back to work early if you want because he was using some vacation time. Right. And so he comes home and he tells me, and he's like, because they want me doing stuff and that. And I'm like, there's all kinds of stuff you can do at home,
I've given you a list.
That's right. I got a honeydew list, dumbass. But so he's decided he's going back on Tuesday next week. So we're not having a full 2 weeks together. So he figures he'll live that titch longer because, I can get back to recording and doing things.
Well, my wife's been on a cruise. She's coming back on Friday. She's been on like a 10-day cruise with her mum. And she'd already gone away to France at the beginning of the holiday as well for a while. So, yeah, I haven't really seen her in the summer holiday.
Oh,
my. We saw each other for a few days when we went to Italy, and that was it.
Yeah. Seeing We're the opposite because I mean he's gone through the day, and so I see him in the evening or the weekends. Now it was funny when I worked because we both worked through the days, so we'd be home in the weekends and on the weekend. And then of course because I was in the school and we'd have 2 months off, I was on summer layoff July to August, and he'd always take that first week off. I'm like, dude, I just got away from people. Why in the hell do you need to be home the first 7 days?
You're so romantic, aren't you?
Oh, and yet, you know what? October's going to be 38 years. Gotta be doing something right. Yeah, we're the weirdos out of people we know. Neither of us have ever been married before. Same person, 38 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm giving him 2 more years to win the farking lottery or I'm out of here because I waited like 40 freaking years, man. So what were you going to say?
Me and Ali is 32 years.
Nice.
Yeah, and we got married twice.
Yeah, you renewed your vows, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, you say I'm not romantic. When we came up to our 30th, and I swear I've married the village idiot. Every village is safe. I got your idiot. Coming up to the 30th, I'm like, well, what should we do? People do this renewing marriage vows. And he's like, oh, we did it once. I'm like, true. And he's like, and everybody does that. How about we get divorced?
Everybody does that.
I'm like, you're an idiot. I have the village idiot, honest to God. So no, we just had a quiet evening because it's so much safe. I don't let him speak to people often. I let him go to work. He's good there with customers, but
Oh, he might speak to people when he's on his own.
Yeah, well, when he's on his own, it's fine. I'm not near him, so he can't embarrass me. It's all good.
You have to bug him. Right, hold on. I need to move. Rosie's trying to
get in on the action.
She's trying to put hair all over my books.
Oh no, not cat hair on your books.
You can go where you want now.
So Kat saying, shame that the most accessible options, such crappy folks at the top. Yep, so true. Here comes Rosie.
Hello.
Searching for Gareth, probably bring up that bloke from The Office. Haven't really watched that. Constance is here. Everyone's saying hello. 19, yeah, too relatable. And I agree. Such a great talk with Ven and Margaret the other day about 1984 and Hal Came With Us. I haven't read Hal Came With Us. Have you, Gareth?
No, but it looked really good. So I watched the live stream as well, and it sounded like a really good book. So yeah, I'm definitely tempted. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, it did actually. I'll have to check that out. The host is swearing a lot. Uh-oh. Did I swear?
I don't think you swear. You often replace swear words with your own words, don't you?
I do sometimes. I used to work in high school. I can get quick with like fire truck and other things. Noah is alive and awake. Hey. Oh, see, I must have been talking Captain Makeup. Happy thoughts, Elaine. There's you. He lives. That's for Noah. Hey, Pat, welcome. See, I am getting behind. Hey, everyone. He said hi, kind of lurking and listen. Ooh, we have a lurker. I do. How is everyone? We're doing good, chit-chatting. Everyone's saying hi. Glad it's straightened out. You got my nuts. That's got to be to you, Gareth. Which is funny because, yes, I did share my pumpkin picture with Kat as well because, I knew what she'd think that picture looked like, and I knew you'd appreciate it. So I went and got more pictures today, and oddly enough, they don't look like that pumpkin picture. I'm like, I have no idea how that happened. Oh, he dunked. It was too easy. Then likes
I'm an expert.
Hobnobs.
I don't very often lose my biscuits in a dunking situation.
Yeah, see, sometimes that's why I don't like, because then you get all the gooey ooh at
Yeah,
the
you don't
bottom
want
of the teacup.
yeah.
I know Canada's more, yeah, but I just have to go without my Oreos at that price. No kidding. Good thing Doctor's close by with a whole sleeve. That's you eating your cookie. Oh, Tiki's still plotting on Xena. Yes. So, because Bob is home, and both Xena and Tiki are daddy's girls, and Xena loves her nap time. I am not a napper, and Xena knows this. So Xena grabs my side of the bed with my pillow and just stretches her 20 plus pound self out and cuddles up with her daddy and naps. Tiki is not a napper, so now Xena's getting extra time. So today, Tiki was in my lap purring. That crap will stop next week when Bob's back at work, because it's like, it's just you. It's not dad. But right now I need extra time because Xena's cutting in on my daddy time. And it's just such characters.
Brilliant.
Do your kids do that, Gareth?
There used, when they were younger, when Chico was around, Chico and Ralph used to compete a bit, and it used to be quite funny because they'd just be like knocking and sitting each other's heads to try and say, "No, I'm sitting here," and all that.
Yeah.
It used to be a bit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, yeah.
They're so wild. And I mean, even Panther will do that. And well, last night Tiki was a brat because we have a big coffee table. And so Xena was moving her way from one part of the room to the other. And Tiki just come racing around the coffee table like, boo, right in her face, right? Because Xena had been cuddling with her dad. They had nap time together. Xena was up in his lap in the chair and all snuggled up next to him. And Tiki's like, so Bob has to go downstairs because his computer room's downstairs. Mine's upstairs. So downstairs is Tiki Panther time because Xena, she has arthritis. She's 18. So up and down the stairs is not an option for her. Tiki knows this. Daddy, come on the computer. You need computer time. Because she gets her snuggles on his computer desk and she doesn't have to compete with anybody else. It's like, they cuckoo. So cat, yeah, remember he drives you to the bookstore, feeds cats, don't off the hubby. Yeah, I know, he's got purposes. Honey-do list. Cat saying hi to Rosie. Elaine with her salty language again. I didn't say the F-bomb. She's salty and skipping some of my chaos. Little man just runs in, starts trying to give kisses. Yeah, which is funny. If you've seen Cat's Grim Fairy Tale readings when little man's in there, my gosh.
Yeah.
Gets attention, nips at his little legs after giving face about it. Yep. Tiki so sneaky using stairs against her sister. Agreed. And well, we have pet stairs. We had them years ago because my one girl, Morgan, had arthritis in her back legs. So in order for her to still be able to get up on the bed and the couch, we bought 2 sets of pet stairs, and there's 3 steps and they're wide so they can just boogie up to wherever they want to go instead of having to jump off and on things. And we've had them for years. And then our other kids use them as well. Cedric and Ghost and all those little boos have left us. We had 3 leave us in 8 months because the universe is an asshole sometimes.
Yeah, I remember.
But they used to sleep on the steps. And so if someone it's like, no, these are for walking, not snoozing in the sun, you guys. And now Panther uses them as his dinner plate. But you have to wait until Panther gets there because he can't decide which step he wants to eat on. Sometimes it's step 1, so he just stands on the ground and it's the right level. Sometimes he wants to be on step 2, and sometimes he wants to be on the tippy top. So they're multi-purpose stairs for sure. But hey, we're actually caught up. Use things as intended. Yeah, weird thing. Yeah, and some people don't do that either. I'm sure some emergency people have amazing stories for what people did with things they shouldn't have, and how they thought of that is bizarre. But let's chat about your books. So let's start with 10 Tales of
10
Transformation,
Tales.
since it is your first published work as well. Now, I am going to admit I did not read all of it yet.
Okay.
And I actually have a reason, as I was thinking about, because I always play things out in my head prior to things happening, meetings, streams, whatever.
Yeah.
And, I was thinking about, what am I going to say about this book and the different stories? And I should have it all read. And, well, I did read, obviously, No Sleep Till Cordelia, because that was the first Brown Yelp gang story, which is funny because I always do things back assward. I just can't do anything like a normal person. I read Brown Yelp first.
Right. And then you read the other story. Of course.
And then I read this. So now I need to read Brown Yelp again, because there's things now with plaques, and we'll get there, make more sense having read the short story.
Right.
Now, that story and doing the live reading was so much fun. So thank you for that. I did it in 3 parts.
Thank you.
And it was fun, but it taught me, before you do a reading, read the whole story and get the pronunciation before you say you're going to do the reading, because now you're committed. So you're going to have to, with a straight face, read about the Clinton Belt Nebula and not laugh your ass off while you're reading it.
I totally forgot I'd written that. When you said, is this right or is it a typo? I was like, wow, I guess I was a little bit rude on that one.
And I gave myself kudos, because I read that sucker without even cutting a smirk. It's like, yes, just think you're reading to a class and go with it.
Well, I think when I wrote, because that's in the that sentence is in the story, isn't it? It's in the short story. It's not. Because I know when I wrote the short story, I think I mellowed out a little bit with the novel. But when I wrote the short story, it was very much that kind of. I had in my mind that sort of 80s rock band, hair rock band sort of aesthetic, where they're talking about sex a lot and women a lot, and which is why I don't know if it's in the story or I know it definitely in the novel they're talking about their album called Wet and Tasty, isn't it? Yeah, and obviously that's a ridiculous phrase, but most of the song titles are just stupid, but there's definitely some sort of I don't know, sort of sexualized bits in it, but I've forgotten I'd done that. So definitely by the time I get to the novel, there's not as much of that, and it's more silly,
And the thing is, I mean, it fits, right? Because rock band, rock image, so exactly. It made sense.
Yeah.
Now, and your intro is lovely, and you talk about your channel and the people you're thanking. Yes, sorry, I do annotate books, Gareth, and I did it to yours as well.
I haven't looked at this book for ages. So,
well, see, I've only read, other than No Sleep Till Cordelia, because I wanted to do that before I got into the Brown Yelp gang. Now, I haven't read from the Brown Yelp yet. I mean, that's coming up on the Friday readings when I get back to them. So I may just do like a 15-page reading. I'll take a look at where the page break comes, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
And I still need to do the review of the book, but I wanted to do the live stream with you first before I do the book review. Loved it, by the way, but we'll get to the book in a sec. Now, I've only read 3 of the other short stories.
Right.
I read and so I'm reading them in order now. And so I read The Endless Challenge of Time Management.
Right.
Whatever Happened to Ethel Pinchworthy.
Right.
And The Breath of Life.
Right.
And I was thinking about those three. I've started All In, but I haven't finished it yet. And like I say, I was thinking, okay, well, I can quick knock this off probably in an afternoon or afternoon and evening, the stories I need to finish so that we could, chit chat about all of them. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, at least to me, that's not the way this book is meant to be read. Each
Okay.
story is meant to be read and pondered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're deep stories.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
even Corselia, there's a lot of stuff that comes up there about, I mean, for, as much as we laugh about the band and the names, How's Your Hair being their biggest hit and all that stuff, there's a lot of deep stuff in there about relationships and perspective and, the breath of life, trying to come up with that pattern and needing help and guidance. And then, well, I'm not giving anything away, but, let's just say the light goes on for Trelkin.
Well, that's the breath of life is my story about religion. So,
Yeah.
and God, and
and
what I think of him.
can't say you got it wrong, but
I don't think it's hidden. It's not very subtle.
But I think that's what makes it that much better, especially at the end, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, I had this book in my music room, and one of my students' girlfriends just saw it there, and she was like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a book that I've published." And she said, "Oh," and she was having a look at it, and then she said, "Can I read one of the stories?" I said, "Yeah, of course you can." So she just chose The Breath of Life, and she was one of like academic student that was doing like politics, religious studies, and sociology, something like that. She was doing those kind of subjects, so she was really interested in it, and she was a Christian, and she read it, and she said it completely blew her mind. She was like, "I've never thought about these things like this before," and then she was properly like stunned by it for like, I don't know, 15 minutes afterwards. She was just like thinking about the story, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It really made her think, so that's kind of, because obviously some of these three of the stories are comedic, I want people to laugh, but most of them are not. Most of them are serious.
Yeah.
So The Breath of Life is very serious, but The Endless Challenge of Time Management, which was the first one you read, right?
Yeah.
That's the first one I wrote, and that's when I thought I might be able to write stories, because I wrote it, and then I passed it around to some friends, and they said they really liked it, and it was really me just trying to sort of therapeutically kind of meditate, if you like, on the fact that I've always said time is my enemy. Time. I hate time. I hate the fact that we don't have enough time. So obviously, this character manipulates time. So when we feel like we've lost, our day's gone really quick, they did that.
Yeah.
They chose to do that because they thought it was fine. We don't need that day. And then when day goes slowly, they did that. So I thought it was a really interesting concept.
Yeah.
And then, and then the ending of it was my way of making people maybe read that and wonder if that's what they would do, or what would they want, So
it was an amazing story. Hey, Paula, thanks for coming in. Hit the like. Awesome doing club sprints.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And yeah, now that one was very interesting for a number of reasons, because some days do seem to just whip on by, and others it's like, wow, is this day gonna ever end, kind of thing. And so you get thinking about because time is time is time. But it doesn't always flow that way for us, depending on what's happening in situations. And it was also interesting because it made me think of Chaz's book, Talendor's Guest, where
Okay.
his character also has to do with time and travel and meets up with this dragon and different tales. But I'm like, wow, yeah, that was interesting the way this story's written and the choices people have to make and the different things, certainly, of the people he thought would make awesome, people to recruit until they weren't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
initially,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they fit the oh,
Yeah.
nope, not that
Yeah.
one. Oh, well, maybe no, that might not be it. And again, that having to process through all of that, right? Because it takes time to figure those things out.
Well, and I thought that kind of job, that kind of role, that kind of purpose is,
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of power. It has to be somebody responsible, somebody who wouldn't be spiteful, somebody who wouldn't be um, uh, impatient or intolerant or those kind of things. So yeah, I put those characters in there as failures because they're not the right character to have that kind of power.
Yeah, and that's it, because it would be a lot of power, right? Like, how do you make those decisions and how would you know what's right for the individual based on the experience? And like, it comes down to the individual, right? There's whether it's grief or joy or different things, everyone experiences that in a different way. And some people want the time to slow down so they can process, work through it. And other people are like, hell's no, let's get this party started and get her done, then be finished with it. So to have that power of choosing over people, hey, Matthew, is huge. And much like picking who also comes into this little club of making those choices and then knowing the ultimate cost at the end of it. Right?
Yeah. So it's kind of it's almost a twist because it's a new challenge, if you like, a new, do you want that kind of
Yeah.
thing? Yeah. But then the person that, because it's that's what you're talking about with the cost, and what ends up happening to the person that had that job originally. Yeah.
Yeah. Night,
I can be brutal sometimes,
but
it's,
it's important, right? Because, and again, that's why I say these stories are, I'm just going to read this short story book, knock it off in a few days, and I'm done, next book. That's, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, that's not what this book is meant to be. It's meant to be spread over months and savored and thought about and pondered and then go to the next story, right? It's not like a Stephen King Night Shift, boom, dinner in a day, great horror stories.
Yeah.
But that's not, they're two completely different genres and purposes.
Yeah, because there's one called Miss Audacity, which you haven't read yet, but that one,
Not yet, yeah.
That's got it's kind of like a sideshow circusy thing with a kind of a horror element to it. But even that, the reason why they get into that situation is because of this desire, this kind of bereavement, grief kind of stuff that one of them is experiencing, where they want to relive some memories, and that's partly why they get into that situation where they get into trouble with this kind of horrific ride on this sideshow thing, but it's because they want to relive the memories, and so that hopefully would kind of make people think as well, and even I'll tell you what, one of the funny ones called Cooking for One, that's about loneliness, and it's about feeling like you're at the end, but you're not at the end because you meet a woman that kind of sparks a new lease of life, if you like.
Mm.
You know, but you could just describe it as someone who talks to his kitchen and the kitchen talk back. Because that's how it starts. But he talks to his kitchen because every day because he lives on his own. Every day he's an old man. Every time he gets up, he says hello. He says hello to the stairs, says hello to the kitchen, says hello to the front room. You know, and then one day, I think it's the kettle's the first thing to say hello back, and then all the little bits of the kitchen start talking to him. So
that'll be a fun read.
Yeah. So it is fun, and I try to give each part of the kitchen a character that suits what they do. So the oven's quite hot tempered, and the fridge is quite chilled. That kind of thing. You know, so that's kind of going on, and like the hobs above the oven are backing up what the oven's saying because they're part of the same thing. You know, so that's kind of things happening, and the kitchen ends up giving him relationship advice to this woman he meets.
See, that'll be a fun read. I'm looking forward to it. Now, the second story, Whatever Happened to Ethel Pinchworthy, and that has to do with the cover art.
There she is. Yeah.
And she is such an interesting character because, of course, the way she presents herself in town and her motivation, and then all of a sudden this other thing happens to her, and the way that it ends, I mean, you could kind of see, right, because of her reputation and the way that she behaved. And I'm curious why you picked giraffes. We're not going to do spoilers, but the giraffes was hilarious of all creatures.
I think giraffes are hilarious. So I think they're really weird. So I could have picked penguins because penguins are weird as well. So did you think I should have picked giraffes?
Here's your co-host to have a chat with you about, hey, why not cats, Dad? Like, what the hell, man? I'm right here.
But yeah, I think giraffes are really funny. So the idea that they'd be a big feature of the story, I thought, well, although, yeah, I think that ultimately with those kind of stories, with that one and with the Brown Yelp Gang stuff, I kind of made myself laugh while I was writing it. So I thought I was running. If I had something, it was making me giggle, I'd run with it. So once I started, I kind of accidentally put the drafts bit in, and then I was like, yeah, this, I like this.
Gotta go with it.
And then, and then it obviously becomes a really big thing. And then the ending is quite like crazy. So yeah, it was kind of an accident, but it's also the fact that I do think giraffes are really funny. I love to see. If I go to a zoo, I want to see the giraffes. Definitely want to see the giraffes. So I can relate. I think. I think those aliens. It's not a spoiler. She's clearly getting abducted.
Yeah.
I think the aliens have got a point. They've got a point. They are amazing things.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting how that whole scenario plays out too, and how she has to be cleansed and everything else. And ew, we've gone a bit beyond the whole probing, and maybe that probe isn't so bad after what happens to her in this thing with the aliens and all the goo and guck. But it really makes you, and again, it makes you stop and think, because the way Ethel presented herself and interacted with the people around her, and then she has this, goo aside, amazing, astounding experience. But of course, she can't tell anyone about it for a multitude of reasons, because, again, no spoilers. And then they just assume she's nuts.
Yeah. And that's the reflection of how she's seen in the village or whatever. But also, I thought it was important for her to be consistent. So she's really excited about being abducted. Because she's got this gregarious personality that wants adventure. She's an old lady that loves life and loves adventure, so she sees it as a great thing, even though it's not a great thing. You know.
But initially, to her, that's the way it seems, because she has she has no idea what's going to happen after this, right?
Yeah. She just thinks it's very exciting.
Well, and it also, again, makes you stop and think about different experiences you have. And when you go running headlong into something without looking, again, and this goes back to our discussion at the beginning, without looking at that whole ripple effect and the whole ramifications, not just for yourself, there's a lot more to that initial event. Right? There certainly was for the giraffes in the story. Aw, Rosie. Well, while Rosie's having a snuggle, we'll catch up. I know Greg had to gallop off. So glad you could join us. Kat's off adulting, so she's on lurker mode for a little while. Noah, I know, has zoomed off to bed. See, he's not like you and Ven. He needs to sleep.
But is he from the UK?
Yeah.
All right.
He's 7 minutes away from Ven. I know that because I chat with Ven and Noah off YouTube as well, and they literally live a 7-minute walk apart, because every once in a while,
that's amazing.
Ven, and they knew each other before they came on YouTube, which is awesome. But yeah, they live 7 minutes apart. So every once in a while, when one of them will piss me off, I'm like, hey, go stroll up the street and like flick his ears or do something for me, would you? See, Voxer's great. And I never knew about Voxer until Dave, your cohort with Olive, and he got in touch with me to do a buddy read, and we did The Handmaid's Tale with Vin from Revenant Reads, and he's like, well, yeah, we chit-chat on Voxer. I'm like, what is Voxer? So then I found out about Voxer because of him. So that's a lovely thing about the community, right? You learn so many different things and make connections, and
the thing with speaking as messages rather than typing, you really get the personality. You feel closer to the personality. You can become proper friends.
Yeah, because you can hear them, right?
Yeah.
And that's the lovely thing about when you do the audio messages. I mean, it's fun sharing the pictures and things too. Like we have one group, and most of the day, like we start first thing in the morning, and it's like, hey, how you doing? And then we'll be sharing pictures of our kids or the yard or something else. And it's just, a lovely way to hey, how's your day going? Or stuff like that. And it's that lovely spin-off from things for sure. Vacation versus work. Some days 600 hours, some have 2. Yeah, so much. And it said hi to Paula.
Thanks.
Awesome. Watch back later. And that's why I say too, like Team Rewatch is amazing because everybody's all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So I knew Noah would get on the book murderer thing because he's the one who called me book murderer, and it just whenever I highlight or write in my books, I can hear his little Manchester le gasp, because he does not write in his books at all. Meanwhile, I've got like massive writing and all yellow, orange annotating, and yes, I do have sticky notes, but it's more fun to hear him scream when I show him the other thing. And Ven is joining. Oh, there we go. I apparently now have my own book tattooing cult. And this will be the pumpkin picture. Love the dirty. and see Kat also, and she did the review.
Yeah, she did.
Much fun.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, she did. Yeah, brilliant.
And it was. It's here we go. Oh, poor Noah has to work for me. There we go. So Ven's off, but Noah's got to go in tomorrow. Never heard of Voxer? until I introduced him. Because a lot of people in the UK use WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp's popular. Well, I mean, ironically, we can do audio messages on Facebook Messenger thing, which a lot of people use, but
Yep.
they don't realize you can do that, or they don't use it like that. So Voxer was a great revelation, but it's only because we don't use the other apps in that way. You
Yep.
can. So I think
Well,
that's quite funny.
yeah, true. And I mean, the other is for those of us like myself who don't have Facebook or the other
Yeah.
platforms, then you just have Voxer, because I really do limit the number of things I use, just because that's more passwords to remember, that's more things to monitor, because, some humans are assholes and they're, hack into this, hack into that, just because they can.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to spend that much time monitoring everything. And I
And
mean,
Voxer's not connected to the Meta company either, is it? So yeah, you
no,
got that as well. Yeah.
but yeah, that's why I limit it as well, because, and not to be, and well, I'm not being gruesome because it's being realistic. As we were planning out our wills and getting things in order and writing out, passwords, everything, because if something happens, the other one needs to know. And it's like, holy shit. Like when my dad passed away 20 plus years ago, there was none of this stuff to think about. You had to go to certain public places for documents and this and that. But you didn't have to sit in front of your fucking computer for a day going through a ton of, social media. Oh, I should probably close this, close that. Oh, maybe I'll keep that. How do I get into this? And I'm like, no, hells no. I'm getting rid of a ton of stuff because I don't want, whichever way it happens first, I don't want him to be sitting there having to go through 20 farking things to like, oh yeah, Rosie's so
He's definitely in a sociable mood.
I was gonna say it's interesting, and yeah, big hugs on your loss of Chico.
Chico.
That's so hard, but it's interesting how much more Rosie has been
Yeah.
snuggly and appearing since.
Yeah. It is since then. Yeah. So although she's definitely her. I mean, my wife is her favorite, and she's not been around, so I don't know if
Yeah.
she's more around here because that might be a thing. So she kind of follows her around,
Yeah.
and goes up to the bedroom when she goes up, don't you? So it might be connected. Yeah, that might be a thing.
So
But
that's why we don't see her on your live streams, because she's upstairs with Allie.
yeah,
See, that's like Tiki, right? And actually, it was funny. Well, yeah, because see, Bob's watching TV and our TV's downstairs. So Tiki goes down with Bob. I rarely watch TV anymore. But Tiki goes down to watch TV with Dad. And Panther was watching TV with him last night. Bob came up and he's like, yeah, he actually stayed by me the whole time and watched everything I was watching. I'm like, guess he needed daddy time because the girls are like getting all the time. But it's so funny how they have their own humans and their habits.
yeah,
And
definitely.
it was hilarious because last week I had Alan on and we were talking about tarot cards and all that kind of stuff, our outside of the box live stream. And Tiki was here purring like a maniac. It's like, you don't normally come for live streams. You like tarot, I guess. Like she'll pick and choose which live stream she comes to be a little cutie patootie for. But if Dad's home, it's a no-brainer. She ain't showing up. But yeah, that could be it too. If Allie hasn't been around, you're like, Dad, I need some lovins.
Yeah. And there's something I haven't said yet is I'm allergic to her as well. So because she's all over me, in about an hour, my eyes will be really streaming and my nose will be running. So it's not ideal. But It's just one of those things.
Well, and I'm laughing because our one girl, Cedric, and she was so adorable. Some piece of human garbage had left her out, and she found her way to our yard, and biggest blessing we ever had. Because if not for her, we wouldn't have Xena and we wouldn't have had Ghost. She had them in our basement a while after she came in.
Wow.
But she was just, I mean, oh my gosh, the sweetest, most lovable. Like, I can't imagine what kind of garbage you would have to be to abandon that little cutie. And we've been at the same vet for over 35 years. Because when I came up to the city, I had my boy Cass with me. And it was funny because I know when I was getting married, people are like, well, what if your cat and Bob don't get along? I'm like, excuse me? And they're like, well, what if they don't get along? What are you going to do? I'm like, be single longer? Like, what the hell? There's a lot of men out there. I only got this, like one cat. This is a no-brainer, but sure, if you think there's an option. But anyway, they got along great. Cass loved Bob, especially at 3 a.m. because he'd lick his nose and wake him up. Like, he'd literally stand on him and lick his nose. But we've been at the same vets for years, and they've been with us for all our heartbreaking goodbyes and such. And Cedric was just such a little bundle, and everybody who met her loved her, such a cutie. And one of the assistants at the vets, like you, and ironic, she worked at a vet's, highly allergic to cats, but would insist on going, like if Cedric had to stay, if she was doing like had blood work or something, Brenda was always in there playing with Cedric and snuggling her and cuddling her. And, as we're heading out I'll bring her out. And we're like, she's in like, it's okay. She's light. I can carry. No, it's okay. I'll bring her. Your face is going to be like poofed in 20. I don't care. She's adorable.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not going to not give her a fuss on that, but I will.
I'll be punished for it later. See, I've had to take areas, and I actually put in my post this morning because before I'd have to start taking my allergy meds in the early spring the last few years, and then we had such a crazy winter with like 2 feet of snow for months. And so I didn't need my allergy meds in the spring. I was so excited. And then they just hit a few weeks ago. And because again, I don't do it normal like other people. I don't have the sneezing and the wheezing. My ears plug up.
Oh, wow.
So I've been literally bouncing off the walls because your balance goes when your ears are messed, right?
Yeah.
So now I've had to start taking my allergy meds again. I'm like, I would like, Mother Nature is either bipolar or I don't know what the hell, but it's insane this weather because it goes one extreme to, and that's it, one extreme to the other extreme. It's like, could we have just like 2 weeks of transition instead of our temperatures? The last few nights we haven't been able to keep our windows or doors open. It's so fucking cold at night, and our furnace came on this morning. It's freaking August. That's not supposed to happen till October. He's nuts. But so we have chit-chatted about 10 Tales, and I will finish it. And like I say, it's going to take me probably a few more months. And I'm not feeling bad about that because there's things to ponder.
Yeah.
Like there really is a lot, even with Ethel, with Ethel's story and the breath of life, and even just reading them again to pick up the different points of it. I really don't think this is a book that you should just knock off on a weekend. It's meant to be a story and like ponder it for a week or so before you move on to the next one. So don't tease me. I haven't finished this quick. I
Can
have
I
a
can I
reason.
can I talk about 2 other stories?
Of course you can.
So, because there's obviously 10 stories in it. Although I did a I did a little TV spot for a local TV station after I'd written it, and literally in the interview, I'll just hold up the title again. I in the interview I was like, I can't remember how many stories there are in the book.
Oh!
And then eventually I was like, I think it's 10. And
That's something I would do.
so was it 12? Amazing.
That's hilarious.
But but I wanted to talk about as a story called "We Need to Talk," and it was my take on an old kind of trope, if that's the right word for it, where death comes to the door of an old person and says, "We need to talk." But what I wrote it, what I wanted to do with it, is that story is what I think is the meaning of life. What I think is the purpose behind us being here.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it's not just a, I don't know, it's not just a story where someone has to get used to dying or something. This is something like it's kind of like he gets taught a lesson, if you like. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about, and then the other one I wanted to mention, because there's obviously other stories in it, and and I could talk about the others, but the one called "The Drums of the Iroquois."
We can go through the whole content. So All In. I'm not finished that one yet, but give us a scoop on All In.
All In is probably the only one out of all of them that's kind of like an action story.
Okay.
It's like a thriller. It's a card game. So the idea is you've got and I'm sure it's been written before, but there's different aliens that are basically playing cards, and what they are trading with are parts of their planets. So if someone won a hand, they would get that region of that planet. They'd own that and that kind of thing, and then it ends up with somebody dominating the game, and and there's a bit of a someone read it, and then it's interesting because I wasn't sure in the ranking of the stories how strong that one was against the others, and someone told me it was one of their favorites, and they said they really liked the ending, and the ending is it is a kind of a quick shock ending, and to me it's the only way it could have ended, but the person that read it and really liked it said, and I really like the ending, so that was cool. I think short stories, you have to have good endings. You know, and Miss Audacity was the one that we talked about with the with these three teenage girls who go on this kind of like post university holiday thing. They decide to go on this sort of Pleasure Planet thing, and there's this sort of sideshow circus kind of set up, and they go on this new ride, but the ride gets really dodgy. So it's you know, I'll spoil it if I say what happens, but it gets really bad. So and then the ending of that is really weird. And then obviously you've read No Sleep Till Corsilia, which is the longest story in the book. So that was the second to last one I wrote for it as well. So I felt quite confident by the time I wrote that one. And then Cooking for One is the one about the old man who talks to his kitchen. And that one was that I got advice from my son-in-law in that one. So I told him the idea, and I told him what I was going to do with it, and then we bounced off, kind of like just like getting into it for a bit, going, oh yeah, we could do that and that could. So I don't know, I can't remember what he suggested, but I know that he had a hand in something that was in the story.
Nice.
So kudos to my son-in-law Elliot, who's cool.
And then we need to talk. You just mentioned with the Death and the Senior.
Yeah, and then The Drums of the Iroquois is one that I'm really proud of. I think it's one of my favorites in the book, and it's one that I'd love to have someone read it.
I'll volunteer.
Okay, thank you.
Can I read it on my channel?
Yeah. It's
Wait,
it's
I just learned from you. Any words I need to be prepared for here?
I don't think so. I mean, it's definitely no naughty words. This is a very serious story. So this is
Okay.
in this planet they have which I deliberately linked it to All In. So it's one of the planets that's in All In.
Okay.
So I
Cool.
kind of did that as a little nugget. But this planet has this ritual, this drum ritual, and it kind of brings everyone comes together for this ritual, and it brings them together mentally, and they kind of read each other's minds, and they know each other's secrets, they know each other's thought process, everything, and they become kind of at one sort of thing. And there's a girl who knows that she'll be in trouble if the authorities and society at large finds out something about her that she needs to keep secret. So she runs away and doesn't get involved in the drum ritual. And that's how the story starts. And then she's kind of on the run, and she meets these other people that have escaped from the drum ritual because they've got secrets. And it's ultimately about sexuality, and sort of not wanting to be punished for being a bit different. So yeah, that's the Drums of the Iroquois. Again, it's not got a very. I won't tell you the ending. And then the last one, which is kind of a bit of fun in a way, but it was this probably the most traditional science fiction-y kind of story, All for Lena. It's deliberately the title is a tribute to Billy Joel, because one of my favorite Billy Joel songs is All for Lena, but it's also about like a kind of a classic rogue freighter pilot kind of guy who's in a bar, and he gets chatted to by this woman, and then the barman says, "Watch out, that's and I can't remember what the alien was called, but it's a specific species that can manipulate and trick people." And he's like, "Watch out," and then he's like, "Oh, whatever," and then he has this really bad encounter, and he gets manipulated, and he's kind of and he's involved in a crime that he doesn't even realize he's involved with, and all that. So it's kind of a bit of a sort of noirish thing, but with a
Star Trek episode.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, with a classic kind of Han Solo kind of character. Yeah.
It was OG, and was it Scotty? Just as you were talking, I was thinking, I remember this bar with Star Trek characters, and somebody killed somebody, but they didn't really do it.
Yeah. So yeah. So I thought that was a good one to finish, because it's kind of got a bit of a ... ending, which was quite cool, and I thought it was a bit of fun. It was one of the last ones I wrote as well for the collection.
So how did you decide which order to put them in? Because they're obviously not in order of how you wrote them. So how did you go about, as an author, deciding, well, which one shall I put where?
Well, I think you're right that you shouldn't read it all at once, but I thought, if someone did, what would be the right sequence of like moods, because if you like putting 10 tales in an order, it's kind of similar to putting 10 songs in an order on an album.
Yeah, true. Yep.
Yeah, because sequencing on an album is really important. And for me, I always want to start big, put some of the smaller, more reflective songs in the middle, and probably end big. But maybe if you end, the second to last song is big, and then there's a reflective song at the end, you can work like that as well. So the kind of the way the mood changes through the album, I think, is really important. So I kind of had that approach to this, really. What will it be like if you did read them all like that?
Right. Nice.
Yeah, and I think they're quite different.
Yeah, and from excuse me, just from hearing you describe them, from the 4 that I know from having read them, yeah, there's definitely, I mean, the first one, time management, it kind of gets you thinking, pondering, but not in a bad way, like not a heavy, oh my gosh, is there future for humanity way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
whereas when you're reading The Breath of Life, it's a deeper, more intense thinking. And it isn't that, it's not saying there's no hope.
No.
To me, thinking about it is sometimes when you're pondering a point or interacting with someone, you have to come to the realization it doesn't matter what you say or do, they're not going to change. And that's just the reality of that relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
in this case, it's specifically, even though you don't call him that, it's God, right? And creation and the choices and all of that. But with people that we meet in our lives, you can point out all the obvious facts you want, and they're not gonna budge a centimeter.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not a lot of remorse or ownership and all that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And so that one is that's why I say that one's a heavier point to ponder, right? There's bigger things. It isn't just the story, it's the human relationships and people you interact with, and how do you navigate and negotiate those, knowing that person isn't going to change no matter what. Right? Whereas then when you get to No Sleep Till Corselia, you're looking at this rock and roll band. They all have they're all different aliens. It's a different situation. You're traveling through the stars and a lot of things there. But then you're also hit with, they obviously have been working to make it big. They make it big on this silly song that's just the repetition, and they're like, this is what got us here, right? Which I'm sure there are a lot of bands who have felt that way with the song that got picked, right?
That's parodying commercial music. The fact that something's commercial, the amount of times a band has not wanted the single to be the single that was released, and the record label have said, "No, we want you to release this one. This is the commercial one," and they're going, "But we don't even like that song," and then they release it, it becomes a big hit. That's
and
so
then
common.
Suddenly, well, and then also,
so How Was Your Hair was like that.
Yep. And then, so they've made it big. They get these venues that they really want to do. It's huge going to Corselia. It's going to be back to back days of performances. I think it was 36 or like some huge number, right?
Yeah.
And they only managed 13 in the past, and they were like done like dinner at the end. So then again, what choices do you make? Because this is what you've been striving for. This is what you want to do. They're not sure they can manage it without the dungeon, but there's all kinds of other consequences for that choice besides not knowing how it's going to impact them. And then, that
it ruins their performance, doesn't it?
Right? And then at the end, they're even going, like, we didn't even try to see if we could do this.
Yeah. They immediately go, right? We need some assistance. Yeah. I know someone. Yeah.
Yep. So again, even though, and it's fun, and it's kind of a silly, they're silly characters. They do silly things, but there's layers to those characters in the story, right? It's still one to ponder. It's just not the same kind of heavy as Breath of Life.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you find, because I've never really been able to have a chat with someone that's read the stories properly, that people, it's like one-sided. Do you know what I mean? I see reviews and I enjoy that. But I just wondered, because it's kind of like come up sometimes in conversations with Americans on Vox and stuff, is there like English banter and English language that you're like, what does that mean? Is there anything like that happening in the stories?
Well, number one, I ain't American. Damn, I wish you Brits
No,
would
true.
get that
No,
straight.
I know that. I know that. But I don't know how much Canadian, how much there are like slang or
I'm just being a shit. Anyway.
I know you're not American.
Gonna start wearing my Canadian flag. Damn. But as I was reading it, I didn't have, if you mean, are there words I didn't understand? It was all perfectly fine.
That's good. Yeah.
But I'm not, I think the other side, some of them may not get it.
Yeah, Canadians are clever, aren't they?
We are.
This
look, see? Now Cat, whoops. Now Cat comes back getting all riled up.
This has got a lot of slang in it. This has got a lot of banter in it, this one. So this might be more like that. I don't know. Because like you said, it's different in Canada,
Yeah. Well, and see, the funny thing is, now that we've had our fun at the expense of, I'll apologize to my American friends, but language-wise, I mean, Canada and the UK are quite similar. We've got different terms, like even biscuits. There's still cookies up here.
Yeah.
But, and see, for me, excuse me, I may not be the best one to ask because there are a number of British YouTubers I watch, not just for books, but for other subjects. So, they'll talk about things like bollocks or taking a piss and things like that, right? And yes. And whereas if other people don't watch those types of content makers, the language may be different. Also, my stepmother was British, so I'm quite familiar with British terms. So it wouldn't hit me the same as it might be to someone who, for example, maybe doesn't follow British content creators or maybe doesn't know some of the other British terms and language.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, these two are at it. Biscuits are for sausage, gravy, cookies are for dunking. Sacrilege!
No, when I was in New Orleans, I tried one of those biscuits.
Not your thing?
Well, I like food that's got a taste.
Oh, snap! Oh, now they're gonna have the gravy argument of brown, white gravy and
white gravy. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, some of y'all's are new to me. Some we use here. Context clues can help. You said it was dry, didn't you? But yeah, when I was reading it, Gareth, I didn't have a problem with the language and the terms, and I have to say, I laughed through a lot of it, partly because I'd already read Brown Yelp, right? So I knew where some of this was going, but I enjoyed the humor. And I mean, reading, I think, and I'd read your intro. So I think as I was reading Time Management, I was thinking Twilight Zone, because I know you're a huge fan, right?
Oh, it's massively.
And reading that was like, and I was a fan of black and white Twilight Zone. So as I was reading it, I was like, yeah, this is what Twilight would look in print, right?
Yeah,
as a story versus
I'm having a look. I think half of them could be Twilight Zone episodes. Definitely over half of them. Yeah, they're definitely a huge influence. Yeah, definitely.
And you could see it there. Now, was there anything else you wanted to say about 10 Tales?
Oh yes, one thing. If anyone wants to listen to Ethel Pinchworthy, the story, whatever happens to Ethel Pinchworthy, there is an audio version on my channel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's done by my friend Sharon, and she's got an amazing voice. And I would, if you know, do you know the British celebrity over here called Stephen Fry?
Yes, I have heard of him.
Yeah, so her voice is kind of like a female version of Stephen Fry, and she does all the voices. You know, she does the voice of the aliens and the robot and all that, and she's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. You know, when she first started doing it, I was like, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing. And
Nice.
It's on my channel. It's about 25 minutes long. So
Cool.
yeah, if you want to if you don't want to order it, or if you can't wait to listen to it, then it's on my channel.
I'll definitely have to check that out. And now I'm just looking from the length. Drums of the Iroquois.
It's quite
I'm
long.
thinking I would have to do like Corselia, at least a 2 or 3 part series. But you know what I find funny? Now, are you okay with me reading it, Gareth, start to finish?
What, the Drums of the Iroquois?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It won't be for a while, but it will definitely be coming. I'll let you know when I have it done. Now, here's what cracks me up, because I did Corselia in 3 parts. I also did The Judge's House by Bram Stoker in 3 parts probably 2 years ago now.
Wow.
The funny thing is, just for shits and giggles, I decided to put it together as one long video.
Oh, okay.
So I re-edited and did it all as one massive video. Do you know which one got the most views?
The big one.
Yep.
Really? Isn't that funny? So people are quite happy to just settle
all
down.
in, because they wanted to hear the whole story versus. So I may actually, if you're okay with that, do that with Corselia as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I just want people to hear the stories. I mean,
yeah,
you know, it's never going to be a massive earner, but I just want people to enjoy the story. So if it makes them laugh, that's brilliant. You know, some of the stories, obviously, I want people to like think and reflect on life.
Yeah.
But the Brownie Out Gang stuff, I just want to make people laugh. You know.
Yep. So yeah, I may do that with Corselia, and then we'll see with Drums of Iroquois. Like, I'll read it to the computer, see how much time it takes, because I do have to edit, because I'm not salty on my channel. Well, for some lives apparently, but in my videos I typically behave. Yeah, sometimes it's me. But yeah, I'll see how long it takes me to read it and the time length, and then see whether I put it up as one long or do it in parts. Because it's funny. And I mean, you've been on YouTube far longer than I. You know, there is no rhyme or reason to what's going to take off or it's shown or anything, like when it goes, what time it goes up, what month it goes up, what's the topic, the title, the thumbnail. It's all a crapshoot.
It's completely weird. Yeah. I don't think there's any swearing in Drums of the Iroquois. If you're
Oh no, I'm not worried about that.
There is in this.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, because the 3 boys swear at each other. So one of them's a bit like, one of them dominates the other one, and both of them bully the third one. And they end up, the 3 of them, on another planet together. They have to deal with it. So yeah, it's a bit of.
You'll boil half your meat and forget seasoning. We're into the cooking portion of the show, not calling it white sauce. Now, Kat, earlier as we were chit-chatting about other things and McDonald's, which, by the way, the prices here, I don't even get. It's been over a year something since we've been, because I refuse to pay that kind of money for a meal without leftovers. It's just not happening. But I had mentioned in our little chat that there was a channel and I had seen the recipe for the McDonald's special sauce. Now I know, Kat. So as I said, I have a recipe for special sauce hyphen, don't go there, Kat, hyphen, works very well on homemade burgers. And because she likes to pretend she's this cute little Southern innocent belle, I don't know what you mean, was her response. I'm like, yeah, right.
Well, she also tried to start a belly dancing craze on BookTube, didn't she? So.
And, you know, there's a few of us who did it. And yeah, it was funny. And it was fun. And Dave laughed at me because one of the moves I actually have to do to keep my back loose. I'm like, who knew? Awesome. It's like right there. That little snaky move keeps my lumbar moving. And then just candy. Don't judge us by the standards of the TikToks I send. Yeah. TikTok's one, nah, I'm not on it. Cooking bacon on the heater, that's sacrilege.
Cooking bacon on the heater, what's that mean?
I don't know. Kat, who's cooking bacon on heaters?
I want to get some bacon now. I haven't got any bacon. Yeah. I've got tons of eggs. I'm going to have some egg sandwiches.
Yeah, see your egg. And see, look at her little giggly face. Special sauce. Oh, there you go. TikToks I sent her. Not of me. Just to clarify, I guess he does not make his bacon on the heater. It's scary, some of the stuff that's on TikTok, I tell you. I'm not on it. I will never be on TikTok. Again, it's one of those, it's like any platform, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, whatever, the streams of platforms. You've got some amazing, wonderful people, and you're always going to have the not so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it depends on what you choose to watch and do with it.
Yeah, and the bigger channel you are, the more like you'll be seen by the nutcases as well.
Yep. That's why I like being small. And
mental health.
That's right. And for Captain Makeup and the other ones that teaks me off, I step away from the keyboard and I have a keyboard warrior journal. So I write here what I don't type to be saved forever and used against me decades from now.
And that's where all your swear words are, right?
Yeah. Because no one sees this but me. And then if I decide it's negative energy and it's, I've got it all out, I'm done with it. Things like Captain Makeup and the first nude lady, I can write all about them, and then I can just rip it up, and the energy's all gone. I don't make a video going, hey, ho, what you talking? Because there's days I would love to vent and rant, and I'm like, no, that's not what my channel is about. And that's why I have my card right up there, channel focus, and all the words I want my channel to be about. So when I have those little ideas in my head going, oh, but damn, it'd be so easy. There's so much.
You look up there.
I look up there and go, ugh, damn. And then I make something else. Plus, it's also handy because, of course, you have subs, but you don't always know who's watching, all the rest of it. And I actually have a video coming up for a local business, and it's not a promotion or anything. It's just a business I've adored, been at for ages. Well, turns out the owner's one of my subs.
Oh, cool.
So I'm like, no, I can't be an asshat because,
What kind of business is it?
It's actually a local business. It's the oldest mill in Canada. that they have flour, and they've got the old wheel. It's the oldest working old mill in Canada, and it's just
that's
an hour
awesome.
and a half, about an hour-ish away from us. And that's where we go get our bird seed. And they also and I've gotten other products there because there's a cute little store attached to it. And we get flour, cornmeal, spices, dried fruit, honey, eggs, all kinds of stuff. It's the most amazing place to shop at. And it's literally like walking into the past, because you go in and like there's the wood floors and the old wood shelves and everything. They gave me permission this time to take pictures of all the shelves or all the products. And we were talking to the owner. We'd talked to him before and showed him the video. Well, my husband did. I stood somewhere else. I'm like, I can't listen to this. And they're like, I'm like, I can't hear myself. It just, you guys listen. And the owner was like so impressed and linked up the video to his website and stuff, and gave us a tour of the mill and talked about all the old machinery and stuff, and
That's awesome.
let me take pictures inside. Yeah, he's so sweet. And thankfully the mill didn't close down, because some jerk of a politician was trying to shut it down several years ago. And this individual now is the new owner. And he since, did some of the upgrades that these people wanted, but there's still a lot of old stuff that they continue to use, and the way that the mills, the way that the flour and all the different grains are processed. And yeah, he's local and trying to bring in other local businesses, trying to figure out other things with the mill to, I was just reading about it on the website, and I know they want to try and figure out something to generate energy and make the mill like completely self-sustainable.
Okay.
So there's a lot of amazing stuff, but going in the store is literally, it's like walking into the past. If you've, like, here we call them pioneer villages. And so, they've got like the old country stores and stuff the way they used to have them. Well, that's what walking into this store is like. It's like walking back into the early late 1800s. But it isn't just the appearance of the store, it's the atmosphere. Like when people, I cannot think of a single time in the over 25 to 30, almost 30 years we've been there, I have never had a bad experience in that store. The customers who go in there, because it's just a smaller store, right?
Mm.
But when you're in there, it's like everybody has manners, they're civil, they're polite. Well, you get the odd one not, but it's very odd. People, when you're going to people hold the door for each other, whether you're coming in, going out, chit-chatting as they're shopping. Like it's like being in a whole other world. And it's just so awesome. And that's why I wanted, and this was even before all this carp with the makeup douche. I just wanted to talk about this store because it's around where I live and it's so amazing.
Mm.
And so when we took the pictures this time, and it was funny, Mark, the owner, was chatting with my husband again when I came out of the store after taking the pictures. And I was saying, I just wanted to update the video and, this time show products and do something a little more. And my last video, it's finally up to 178 views, which for me is huge.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's awesome. And he's like, hey, do you want to tour the mill again? And I'm sure. Like he's just so excited about his business and
That's
and
brilliant.
the history of it. Excuse me, the history of it and everything that goes into it. And so talking to him is just phenomenal, right? I mean, I'm not into war and all that kind of history, but I love the history of the people who worked the land and how all
Yeah.
these things developed. And yeah, he's just so excited when he talks about it. And he was like, and I'm like, we should probably let you go. Like, the mill's open today and you got customers, but he just gets so excited chatting about it. And so talking to him, because I was saying I want to find straw, someone who sells straw, because that's what I use in my yard instead of mulch and stuff, because it just naturally breaks down. And my groundhogs are constantly stealing it on house cleaning day because they take it down into their den. So I always need to replenish. Excuse me, voice is going. But he gave us a referral for another farmer where he gets all his straw. So I'm like, bonus. So connections, it makes, such a difference. And
That's
yeah,
really cool.
yeah, and that's the kind of stuff I love, right? Like I say, I love hearing about the history of the places, and I especially love the old mills. Like where I grew up in a small town in the other direction from here, and we had a place called Bacchus Mill where you can still go and they make maple syrup, and there's all kinds of other things they produce there, like the old style of doing things. And it, to me, it's just amazing because that shows you where people came from and what they were developing, right? So, yeah, I love that kind of a thing. Oh, now these two are going on about Akatar. Oh, it's 100 something's Ven's fault. I'm innocent of all charges. Keep getting blamed. This Akatar, I'm
Oh,
innocent.
for reading
Yeah,
Avatar, maybe, yeah.
yeah, we're actually starting. Our Wheel of Time group read died because the books were just too big, too much going on. Ven and I are still doing it together, but now we're doing Akatar starting next month because, yes, Ven, I read that stupid book last year because of you. Then I read all 5 books because I had to find out about Nesta, and here we are. And he's still.
Me and Dave are going to carry on with Robin Hobb soon. So we read Robin Hobb together for the first time back in February.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the second book soon. So there's actually a video coming up in a couple of days. Maybe a few more days soon about what I'm reading in the next year. And that includes the Robin Hobb mention. Yeah.
See, I've yet to read Robin Hobbs.
Yeah, I think you'll like her. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet. Well, but no, we're not. We're doing Wheel of Time.
There's a dog thing.
Yeah, not happening then. Not happening. Oh, so this must still be about the TikToks. Tried to make me watch Soda Pops and me candy. Mildly not innocent. Do try give me watch Lion King? Yeah, I'm still trying to get him to reread The Alchemist. Think about it.
Really?
Oh, he hates The Alchemist with a passion. One of my videos were up to 15 comments. It was the first date book tag. Is there a book you regretted buying? So he started it with, there's only one. I bet you can guess which one it is. Now, I knew he meant Akatar, Sarah J. Maas. But of course I said, oh, you love The Alchemist. We should do a reread. He's like, no. So this has just been going on for days now about getting him to reread it. Can't afford load up the pups, Halloween stuff, private yacht, way things are going. Thoughts are soon to be illegal. Then don't put them on screen. They'll find you. Candy's worse than Lion King. Horror you read. Won't even read Mufasa. Fluffy wholesome. Oh, yeah, right, Ven. I know the kind of stuff you read. Lies and slander. All right, there's still... This is just these two at it. Folks being friendly to strangers must be fiction. No, it's true. I love going out there. Do whatever since I've been pardoned. Little groundhogs. Yeah, I've got video of them. And actually today I realized we have two baby skunks because they were eating side by side. I don't know why this company calls this bag of stuff cat food. I've got my skunks eat it. Now the feral cats eat it, fair enough. But I have skunks, I have groundhogs, I have raccoons, and the starlings. It's like, why are you calling this cat food? Everybody eats this stuff.
Yeah, Rose is always eating Ralph's food.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Not this, yeah, see? Not the doggy. So
Yeah,
no
that's-
hobbies for me. To be fair, don't regret buying any book. Reading them, however. Yeah, exactly. You and your pretty cover buys. Get more shelves. So true. But yeah, it's so yeah, Akatar. 5 books, but part of me is actually looking forward to reading them again because I've been through it once. So when
Right.
I know all the spicy pages, I can skip, and now I can keep track and do an actual count of how many I could skip. I know book 5 out of, I think that one was 750 pages, the biggest Farkin book of the, yeah, see?
Oh,
The
God.
biggest book of the lot. And there's literally, I know, because that one I counted, I could skip 10 pages.
But
I'm
surely
like,
you'd only read a 750-page book if you liked it.
say again?
Do you like the Akatar series?
Not so much.
Because I was thinking, surely you'd only read a 750-page book if you liked the series, wouldn't you?
No, because I had to know how it ended, and I could only get there by reading it.
Well, look on Wikipedia.
I don't want to. That's not the same as reading it. And
you
if
said
I
you didn't like it.
Yeah, I still had to read it to know that. And besides, now it will be different because we're with Hermie, the book hermit, who loves the series and couldn't wait to read it again. I'm reading it because I want to hear other people's thoughts because I know what it was like for me, but I'm curious what it's going to be like for them. I'm also reading it because it's going to torture the hell out of Ven, which is why I read Akatar, but I've read all 5 while that bugger's only read the first book. So damn,
Yeah.
he reading all 5 books. But to be fair, and you're still not getting out of it, Ven, and I know you can hear me, so don't even try that shit. I gave you an excuse. He did read the other 2 of Fourth Wing for me. I read Fourth Wing, went no more for me, and he read the next 2 and gave me the summary, so I didn't have to read them.
Okay, so you do that sometimes.
I do. But see, I needed to know about Nesta out of Akatar, and she's in the 5th book with Cassian.
Right.
So until I got to the 5th book, I didn't find out about Nesta. Sometimes I am just too stubborn for my own good. And yeah, it was 750 pages. Well, 740, because I didn't read all the getting jiggy with it 10-page scene. Because, dude, I don't care if you're a fae. There ain't no one going that long, that many ways for 10 pages. Like, seriously. Her husband must have such a complex, because I don't know if he's ever read her books, but dude ain't never comparing to those fae guys. Oh, okay, cover buys. May have bought it. Oh my goodness. Shopping while alive. Then of what? No, here. A trilogy, no less. Read years ago, specials dropped to half price. Gotta get that. Oh, yeah, it did a stubborn Jenny refusing to DNF. Yeah, I know. But I had to know about Nesta. And for a change, I didn't cheat and just go to the last chapter and go, yeah, I don't have to read the rest of it. I haven't done that often, but I have done it. Box ears, sit on him till he reads it. Yeah, but that means I got to fly to Manchester. I can't trust Noah to do it. He's afraid of him. And he's shorter. They've sent me a picture. And then there's a funny thing. because of course you only see people sitting in front of screens, right? You have no idea of heights.
No.
Well, Van's an ant, for God's sakes. He's over 6 foot tall. Right. Noah's 5 foot, like 4. He's so teeny next to Van in a picture. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, Dave used to rib me about my height, and I towered over him and Joe. When I met him, I was like, hello.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that was going to be a thing, you know, but yeah, Joe and Dave are quite short.
Yeah, see, I did, because that was a lovely video, and so glad you got to go and meet them. And amazing. Dave is so sweet, just boogieing down the street. And yeah, he's a teeny little guy. But again, to see us on the screens, right? Or like, yeah, you and tell. Dave next to each other, you'd never know that you were different heights.
Yeah.
It's funny. Oh, in my defense, always the way he starts. I only spoke about book 1. The rest is all you and Noah. Yeah, I know. But see, and that's what I said too. I would have done good had I just ended at Akatar. But no. Noah in a live stream said I was like Nesta. Little bugger hadn't even read the whole series yet. But then I had to know who you comparing me to. Read the whole 5 books. And they're not tiny. There's one novella. One little dinky novella she could have stuck on the end of that other book. And I am not Nesta. But now I know for sure. Yeah, but who got Noah onto it? That would probably be Ven. Didn't realize how many of us are fun-sized. Folks look taller on camera. Yeah, because Kat is just a couple inches shorter than me, and I'm 5'4". So we're all teeny. So you know he's super guilty. But yeah, so Brown Yelp Gang. Now, there you go. She's 5'2" with her shoes on. She really is fun size. Now, what I am surprised about with the cover, which is quite amazing, you don't have Arya.
No.
So first talk about the cover, then we'll get into the characters.
Well, that's the core of the band, and that's they're the creation from the Corsilia story, and then and I commissioned that picture from Hunt Emerson, who's done lots of Beamer's covers and stuff, and he's quite a famous cartoonist, which is really cool. But
nice.
It's really cool. I've got this sort of long relationship with him, which is great. So I paid for that, but I asked him to draw the band. I gave him full descriptions of the band, and I actually tweaked Deet, the drummer, because he did him more kind of human.
Yeah.
So I changed it so it was a little bit more animalistic. But I commissioned that picture before I created Arya.
Okay. So that makes
So I wanted to write a bigger story about them, and I knew the general plot, which was about the two gangsters.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I hadn't invented the full band, or because there's quite a lot. The band's quite expanded by the time you get to the 3rd or 4th chapter.
I've got the characters written down too, because we've got our original group from No Sleep Till Corsilia.
Yeah.
Then we've got Arya, who's with Lazy Riff.
Yeah.
And then we have Teddy.
Yep. The robot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the band has a few extra folks as well. Then of course we've still got
two girls. The two girls.
Lily and Penny?
Yeah, Lily and Penny.
Yeah, the twins, the
Yeah.
telepaths, but are they in the band?
Well, they end up kind of going along for the ride, don't they?
Yeah.
So they're kind of connected. They're not performers, but yeah, they are part of the entourage. I
The
suppose.
story, yep. And then we've got, and did I say her name right? Ursulus, who they
Um,
got the Dengen plant from?
yeah, I think I'd say Ursulus, but yeah, Ursulus
Ursulus?
works.
Okay. See, and there's, yeah, that's the one. Because I'm like, am I saying this right? Then in the one, I said it two different ways. I'm like, why am I flipping back and forth with this? Like, oh
Yeah, but
my.
it's fine. It works. It works. I don't mind.
That's like Hermione, and there's another way to say her name. Yeah, and that's the challenge with doing books audio, right? Or unless you can actually speak to the author ahead of time.
Yeah, but Hermione's a real name. I mean, I've made up these names, or some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't know. Well, Deep is definitely made up. Trent is made up.
Riff.
Riff is riff. As in a guitar riff.
Yep.
There's Ray, isn't there? Ray's a gangster.
DK.
Yeah, they're made up. Yeah. So.
So we've talked about our main people because the front picture is amazing, and like you say, that was done before you'd really fleshed out where the band was going after all the shenanigans in Corselia. And then, of course, we've got Jenkin James, their manager, which the very beginning is hilarious. It's like reading an actual interview the way these people would talk, right? I'm like,
yeah.
oh, this is brilliant. Like, this really is the way their manager would start talking. And then, of course, and see, this is why I said it was funny reading them out of order, which I'm bad for doing that with a lot of things. I don't read series in order either. This Vampire Chronicles group read we've got going is the first time I'll have ever read them in order. It's like, oh, this is a bit bizarre. Because I've read them all over the place when I've picked them up or got them at the library. But so now in the Brown Yelp gang, and I'll do a reread of it, will make a lot more sense about Plax's choices farther into the story.
Yeah.
Whereas reading it the first go through, I'm like, oh, well, why would he have decided that? And I'm like, no, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, he's consistently different to the others. And that's down to me trying to make the characters different. But yeah, he's definitely got a different sensibility with the whole band. And
go ahead.
No, go on.
Well, because we learn about that in the short story with his discussions when they were first talking about Dengen and the choices, and we'd already seen some of that starting with Plax and Riff in the very beginning. And so now when things happen, because as we're starting the story, and again, we won't get into the spoilers, but I mean, Plax gets kidnapped because of the money that Jenkin owes, and we've got these criminal elements involved. And here's where it gets super funny. So the person visiting with Plax, because thankfully he's, being treated well, and the friend that visits him is called Nesta.
That's right. Yeah.
So where did Nesta come from?
I don't know. It was it was written before the Akhtar stuff came out.
So interesting.
Nesta. Where have I heard the word Nesta before? I'm sure it's.
I'm thinking Nest tea, like a nice tea beverage, but
I think Nesta might be the name of an AI somewhere, like in some film or something. I'm not sure. I've heard the word from something, but Nesta, I'm not sure.
Because I saw that and laughed. I'm like, Gareth, I don't think you read Sarah
No,
J.
this came
Maas,
out
and I hadn't
before.
even
Yeah,
thought. Yeah, this was.
this is old.
Wait, no, it isn't, because, and the only reason I'm sure, Akatar is 2015, and I only
Oh, is
know
it?
that. I only know that 100% because The Keening by Margaret Pinard is 2015. And I was chatting with Margaret, and I actually did a video. 20 years later, Akatar's everywhere. How come nobody's talking about Margaret Pinard and The Keening?
Yeah.
And
No,
it's a
I haven't read
trilogy.
it, so the word Nessa doesn't come from that anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, that's the only reason I knew
Mm.
that Akatar was 2015, because when I was, I think, coming up to doing a live with Margaret, or I had mentioned to her that I had picked up The Keening, she's like, oh, that's 10 years old.
I
And
need to
I
read something from Margaret. So maybe that's the one I should read.
The Keening is a very good book. It is her historical fiction.
Mm.
Starts in Scotland and has to do with, it isn't the clearing, but it's the same type of thing when the people were being moved off their lands and forced into the cities. And I mean, a very different time, right? You're watching your home literally burned in front of you. You were given so much time to get your stuff, and hopefully you got everything you wanted because you weren't getting back in. And you had to carry everything you literally got out of your home because you didn't have a car or a truck to load it in, or call somebody and go, hey, we're on the way. Do you have a room when we get there? So it's a very powerful story about a family and the events that happened. It's a trilogy. I do have the second book now, but I haven't read that one yet. But yeah, I mean, it really, and you would appreciate it because of the history and all of that, knowing your historical information. Of course, Margaret does an amazing job of research and making sure she's got everything right. And it was a really interesting read because I'd also just read The Five by Haley Rubenhold, which was the victims of
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
And in the very beginning, Haley tells you everything going on in that era, like with Queen Victoria and the Jubilee and everything going on with the city being packed and the poverty and the riots and everything that was going on. So before you even start reading about Polly and the other four, you're huge immersed in the Victorian, this is what it was like. And going from that to reading Margaret's story, which is a few decades different, but it was easy to get immersed in what that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
versus sitting in a 2025 living room on a couch with all of that stuff not happening, right? But yeah, Haley's book was really good to bring those five women to life,
Hmm.
knowing that they weren't all prostitutes. There was only one in the sex trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even the one, even that one is questionable whether she was one of the victims,
Right.
because she was being sought after by the people she escaped from in France.
Okay.
And she was killed indoors. The others were all outdoors.
Right.
So the last one, I think it was Mary Kate, was a worker, ended up going to France and escaped from a brothel or whatever that kind of type of situation was, went back to England, but knew that she could potentially, these people were looking for her. Whereas the other four, there was just a lot of circumstances, and to be single with children in that time, and you had the workhouses, everything else. Some of them had addiction issues, but they weren't sex trade workers.
Mm.
So it's just, and yet it's bizarre because you could mention Jack and anyone would know who you mean.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like there's signs, there's symbols, there's tours with his name,
Yeah.
but no memorials for the women.
No.
Well, it's like, look at the ones now. I mean, if you say Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, um, the Boston Strangler, Zodiac Killer. I mean, people know those names,
Mm.
but you can't.
Not the victims. No.
Not the victims.
No.
The movies are about them, not the victims.
Yeah.
And the one issue that I really have an issue with Margot Robbie, and again, this has to do with being in my 60s, right? It's crazy how many life things have happened in my 60 years. Not just landing on the moon, but like so many other things. But I remember Nancy Kerrigan's career ruined by Tonya Harding.
Right.
The ice skater, the Olympics. And Harding smashed her with something and damaged her legs, so she was no longer in the running for the Olympics. Who does Margot make the movie about? Margot Robbie make the movie about? Tonya Harding and her abusive husband. I'm like, really? You felt her story needed to be told, right? Anybody tell a story about what happened to Nancy Kerrigan after that nut bar ruined her career? Oh, no.
I didn't know about the other. Well, I don't know about either of them. I haven't seen the film, but
No, I haven't seen the film, nor will I. I don't care if Sebastian Stan's in it or not. He plays the husband. But I remember when that was a real life coming out in the news type of thing. And I'm like, why did you feel the need to write Tanya's story? There, it's, and this other one, Red Witch. Oh, what's the Olsen? Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah.
So
Red Witch.
Well, isn't that what she's called in the Marvel?
Scarlet Witch.
Oh, well, I was close.
Yeah.
Tomato, an
Scarlet
extra
Witch,
E.
Yeah.
But she recently did a movie. I can't even think of the name of it. And it had to do with a murder quite recently, like within the last 10, 20-ish years.
Right.
Small community. One woman murdered her friend who was getting jiggy with her husband.
Right.
Holy people and all that. So it, big news in the community.
Right.
Brutal murder. The murderer is still alive, as are this woman's children and, their family members. The community said, don't do this. I mean, obviously, you don't heal overnight from that. And who wants to be traumatized by all of that again up on her screen? Did Elizabeth Olsen listen? No. Oh, it's an interesting story. I'm going to make a movie. And she did.
Did these two? Did Elizabeth Olsen and Margot Robbie produce these films, or did they just star in them?
I think I think they did produce both of them. No, I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure Olsen did. And here's my issue with that. Number one, it's not a Farkin story. This is people's lives. And this is not going back centuries. Like we're talking a few decades fresh.
Yeah.
Trauma. Yeah. But she thought it was a story that needed to be told. This is that. I'm thinking Biatch. I bet people would want to watch your twin sister leaving her friend to die from a drug overdose as a great story. You could play the part because you look just like her, but I bet you're not producing that film anytime soon, are you, Tootsie? And of course, she shouldn't because Heath's daughter's still alive. Well, Heath has a young daughter, and his partner that he had the daughter with, Michelle, is still alive. But I'm like, Chicky, you want to tell a story? Tell about your drug addicted sister. You have lineups of people watching that. But no, I have a right to a private life. Well,
someone will make that story. I'm sure
well, someone will.
There probably is already a made-for-TV film about the Olsen twins.
Oh, no doubt. But, it just gets me. I don't even know what you would call it. Audacity, lack of boundaries. What the hell is wrong with you? No humanity. It's a story? Really?
Well, it is. It's not out of the ordinary though. There's like that happens all the time.
No. It really makes.
It's like they call it human interest stories, don't they?
Yeah.
But you're right. There are people alive that are affected by it.
And that's it. Like, they're children, and it's part of why I avoid true crime in that. And part of that's because of my former work. It's like, I don't need to read about the people I worked with. I don't want to watch stuff about people I worked with. Like, no, thank you. If that's your thing,
no, I never watched
fine, but
stuff. Doesn't interest me.
No, I mean, I used to spend 40, 60 hours a week with some of those kinds of people. No, I don't need to come home and read about it. I met them. No, thanks. I mean, there was a lot of amazing clients, don't get me wrong. They aren't all schmucks. They're humans and fathers, brothers, all of that. But I don't want to read about it. It's like, nah, thanks. I had to hear this stuff in a meeting during our counseling sessions. I got more details than some of you will ever have, and I don't want that in my head. Like, no, thank you. But so Noah got him to read Throne of Glass, which, these two clowns are trying to get me. And I'm like, no, I'm done with mass. 5 books, I'm massed out, which was math. He's rereading it now, not enjoying it second time. Well, I mean, there's that. I'm going to finish TBR, reread all my old books, see if I still enjoy the stuff I've been collecting. If I could ever shrink my TBR, good luck. Good luck with that, Kat.
There's a tag going around, the unread books tag. I've just done my version of it, that will come up soon. And that's talking about how many books have you got that you haven't read yet, and it's masses for me. It's tons.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I can with 100% certainty say I have 466. And why do I know that like that? Because I did the book audit, which I had to put in 3 parts because I got a lot of books. Turns out on my own private library at over 1,000 books now. Thank you, BookTube. I wasn't even close to that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I went through and went through everything like the TBRs. But I own plenty of books, but not all of them are reading because some are just reference resource, like encyclopedias, things like that. It's like, I'm not reading that A to B, like not going to happen. But that's when Rosie was doing the tour, watched Little Mermaid.
Ursula.
Okay, Ursula. There we go. So now I will have to not seen Little Mermaid either.
Little Mermaid's an amazing film. It's an amazing film.
There you go, Ven. Gareth says, yes, Margaret's other, Orla Rafferty, is one that he read, is good as well. And same the historical Victorian era. For shame, not seen Lion King or Little Mermaid. Probably never seen Brave. Oh, he has seen it once. Nah.
My daughter absolutely loved Brave.
Did
And it's a really good film, I think. Can't
I
beat
don't think
Pixar.
I've seen that one.
It's one of the straighter Pixar films. It's not like completely like wacky.
Wacky. Oh, he did like Tangled.
Tangled is a really good film, really funny.
Oh, shut your dirty mouth hating on my Meridia. Truth about Tangled must be punished for your blasphemy. Punished on the daily. Customers better than the ones I've dealt with. Coworkers do seem not too bright, but at YouTube appropriate. One thing I'd like to see about some folks I know. Oh, say, I'll let you guess what it is. Don't read Tog, it's so meh. Okay, Tog. Help me out, Gareth. Is that Hobbs?
Is that another Sarah J. Maas one?
Oh, you know what? Yes, thank you. Thrown a glass. You just mentioned it. Yep.
Thrown a glass, yeah.
There you go. See, and it's funny. I was just yep. Thank you. I was just chuckling watching Kevin Toll Reads. Wasn't chuckling about the content because he's talking about burnout and decision overwhelm and so many things happening. He did it a couple of weeks ago, and Stuart Griffin just did one, and I watched Pat's and Renee's responses. It's not really a tag, it's more of a response to the comments. Okay. But I finally know what FOMO is.
Oh, yeah, fear of missing out.
Yeah, and I kept hearing people talk about FOMO, and I didn't want to ask because everyone seemed to know what it was. And obviously I don't have it because I'm like, this FOMO? What? Yeah, and I'm like, but
then a more positive one would be YOLO, because that's not a negative one, is it? That's just you only live once. It's like, let's do it. Let's go for it.
Yeah, that definitely. Well, and I kept hearing people say FOMO, and I'm like, oh, this must be an event. No, I've got too many things. I'm not going to worry about it.
It's an ongoing event, but everyone does. FOMO.
Well, and it's funny. And I mean, I've heard you say in different videos and that too, and it happens. But I remember when I kind of first came into this booktube area, so about a year and a half ago, because it was like last December 2023, January 24-ish. And I remember coming across one of Jack's videos. And she was saying, you know, I've got to cut back. I'm just in too many things. I can't do it. It's overwhelming. And I'm like, oh, gee, I wonder how that happens. No, I'm doing my reading and yada, yada, and it's all good. But, I'm glad you're taking thinking of you. And then a year and some later, I'm like, oh, shite, how did this? I can't do all this. Like, this is insane. How did I agree to all this stuff?
Well, that's the thing. When you first start, you're just on your own. But as you go along, you start making friends. And then because you're making friends, you want to do things with them. And then that's when you start adding to all these events and buddy reads and all this. And you think, oh, I can't actually do as much as I would like to do.
Yeah, and because that's it. Because the books sound amazing, or you want, you're interested in a character or different things, or there's a book event or, a buddy read and all kinds of things. And then you're, trying to think of different things for content and self-interest and all of that. And then suddenly you're like, holy carp. Like, no, I got to cut me back some stuff because there's just no way. And I was actually laughing with Ven and Kat because like we chat pretty much every day or quite regular. And I haven't been updating my Goodreads because I do it by hand anyhow. And so I have it at a glance. And then I thought, oh, well, I'll do my update Goodreads. Now, this year I purposely set my bar low. I only picked 25 books because the last 3 years I had set 100 books. and I made it I
Right.
made it each year. But November, December were not fun reading. I was like, oh my God, I'm almost there. I got to get
Mm.
this done. And so I'd be picking little books or half finished books so I
Yeah,
could,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and to me, that's not the point of reading.
No,
And,
and
you
and
know,
I don't think it's the point of the challenge either. I always pick a number that's reasonable that I think I can make,
yeah,
and then if I don't think I'm going to make it, I'll change it because you can change it through the year anyway. And
exactly.
this year's challenge, I've changed it about 4 times. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm behind as well. So it tells me if I go onto Goodreads, it tells me I've got to read 6 books to catch up.
Yeah.
But I'm not panicking. I'm just like, okay, well, if I don't read those 6 books, I'll change the challenge.
Exactly. Well, and see, because I wasn't that busy on YouTube and at home, so I had lots of time to read and do stuff.
Hmm.
And so I made it. Like I say, through November, December, I had like maybe 10 books, if that, to finish. So I was well close to it without stressing. I just wanted to make sure I had it done before that December date. And then I'm like, no, that's not the point of the challenge. And then I'm not reading what I want to because I'm worried about this stupid number. So this year I set it at 25, which I figured, based on my previous reading, I'd be done in no time. No, because the world went to hell in a handbasket in January and I knew it was coming. But I also knew this year would be slower reading because I want to start pulling more of the information together from the different books and start pulling together timelines and correlations and the names and all of that because I'm a nerd. And Kat teases me. She's like, that sounds like school. I'm like, exactly. That's what I enjoy reading is, oh my gosh, all of these different connections, although they're from a wide variety of genres. And so I've knocked off my 25 a few months ago, but I'm still just keeping track to see where it goes. So
Yeah.
I updated it the other day. I'm 54 books behind what I normally have read by this point a year, the last 3 years.
Right.
I'm like, this being social is cutting into my reading time. This isn't like, this is not good.
You can only do what you can do.
Exactly.
I haven't read anything today, but I've had a ridiculous day. I went to work and then I recorded a song for a charity project.
Mm.
Then I had the band rehearsal for tomorrow's gig, and then I've got this. So, and it's 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh. And we've still barely talked about Brown Yelp. I'm going to have you back sometime.
I could talk about the because I'm in the middle of trying to write another short story collection. So I can talk about those. Yeah.
You can. We'll quick see what these, and then we'll quick talk. September was insane. Oh, I've canceled everything except ACOTAR.
Especially ACOTAR.
Oh, especially ACOTAR. Oh, see? I like the way I read it better. Thanks, Gareth. Oh, he's backing out. Oh, yeah. Got to throw your hands up. Got to figure things out. And I know he's crazy busy at work as well. Yep. Constantly half burned out. Writing in books, making notes. Yep. Studying for a test. Too stressful. Not when you have pretty colors. It makes them nice.
Well, it's not, you're not getting a test for it, are you? So that would make it less stressful. You're doing it for your own enjoyment, aren't you? You're not writing notes for a test.
No. And Kat would like to know what charity event, Gareth.
Oh, so it's a charity project where it's like raising money and awareness for Palestine. So it's quite an interesting project where this festival organizer asked bands to volunteer to be involved, and then she put all the names in the hat, and we had to cover each other's songs. And that's like an album that you can get on Bandcamp. So yeah, I needed to record our contribution, and someone else in the band has helped me with it, so it's more like a band sound rather than just me.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Yeah.
Great. Yep. Hope
Yeah.
it raises tons.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's already actually the project in general, because there's other parts to it. It's already raised hundreds and hundreds of pounds, so that's really good.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's nice to be
Well,
involved.
so I will have you back to do a Brown Yelp talk, because there's lots I want to chat about these characters, and I love Zen, Farscape, of course.
Yeah. He talks a bit about Aria and how you think I was channeling Zen. Yeah, which is it could have been like that. It could have been just that I had Farscape in my head. I've always got Farscape in my head.
Well, there you go. Well, and you've got Twilight Zone, and you've got Star Trek influences. I mean, there were so many parts through here that I was laughing. And I think because we've chit-chatted and gotten to know each other a bit over the past year, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember him mentioning this in that video, or yeah, I know he likes Twilight Zone. And so it was funny because as I was reading it, I was thinking of you and all the different I'm like, yeah, this is where he got that from. Yeah, he loves Farscape. This is it. For sure.
Well, I had someone I work with read some of this, and they said that they could hear my voice in the prose. You know.
Yeah, I bet.
Speaking. So it's quite funny. But the I mean, talking about the influences in here, you know, the bit where they're in like the kind of the lair of the big gangster that's trying to, and he's the big that I definitely had sort of James Bond vibes in those scenes, you know, like when they're
the different staircases and
and he's escaping, and they escape by going in those boxes, don't they, and slowly creeping to the side. It was so stupid.
But it was awesome, and it was a fun read, right? I mean, that's the joy of creativity. And
and they go to the weapons guy, don't they? It turns their instruments into weapons, which I thought was fun. So
well, and I was trying to think when I was doing my notes, I think it's in the novel that maybe it is a short story. See, now I can't remember, but I know it's Riff and Trent, might be in the short story, and they're trying to get past one of the guards, and the guard's going on about this song, but he doesn't have the name right. And he keeps going on, and he's trying to, sing it and da-da-da, and Trent's finally like, that's not what it's called. And then he comes out with the I'm like, oh my God. Because sometimes when you're listening, whether it's an album, CD, or YouTube, you're like, what the hell did they just say? Like, you can't quite hear it or get the word right until you look up the lyrics.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, because that's in the short story, sometimes I refer to things that I've experienced, like a sound check or support slot or playing at a venue that you don't know, things like that. Sometimes it's stuff like that, but sometimes it's stuff that we've all experienced, like that thing where you're trying to think of a song and make a joke out of it, or I mean, I haven't dealt with gangsters and I haven't bought drugs from a crime lord, so some of that's made up.
Good to know.
And I haven't performed across different galaxies either, so that bit's made up.
I'm glad you're not involved with any drug lords, because it'd be kind of stupid to be on YouTube with your face, Gareth. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there he is.
It's like, we're trying to find this guy. Have you heard him? He plays for this band. Yeah, he's got this amazing YouTube channel, 5,000 followers. Have you not found him yet?
I also haven't played on an ice planet, but I think if I did, I would worry that the equipment would freeze up, like it happens to them.
Exactly. Well,
worry, innit?
And we'll have to get more into it with that robot group that got all arrogant thinking they'd be better. It's like, we're like, this is totally us. We don't need those other nonsense.
They end up having
alien versions.
They release a single and it gets really big, doesn't it? And
that's and they're like, we're taking over. Forget this. Them coming to replace.
Yeah. I had to rein that in because I was thinking of really running with that and them taking over the plot. But I thought, no, I'll rein that in a bit.
So Ven's very happy about the event. The lyrics are awesome. Yeah, completely changes. No shady biscuit dealers.
Yeah. They're the best drugs.
Now, you said you're working on new short stories. So, what can we expect? What would you like to share with us?
Well, I wanted to. I mean, I'm on a kind of a bit of a drive to try and get back into the rhythm because I'm totally out of the rhythm now. But before I was totally out of the rhythm, I started writing. I've got about 5 that have been written. So that includes Itch, which was in the Garbology last year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I want to release Itch myself because that's not available anymore. So that's one of them anyway, and that's gone down really well, which is great. And there's something I wrote after that, which is really weird, and I don't know how it will land. It's really, really weird, but I quite like the fact it's so weird.
Yeah.
So that's going to be in there. That's called the Call of the Leviathan, and it's like, and it's like this whole town gets taken over by this thing that comes out of the sea, and it's really weird.
Ooh, Lovecraftian.
Yeah. So that's another one. And there's another one about a man whose voice is stolen, and what happens after his voice is stolen, which is a serious story. But as I'm describing that, it sounds ridiculous. And I started a story. I haven't finished it yet. I started a story about a flight on a plane that goes really badly wrong, but it's kind of a bit of a twisty thing. So kind of a sci-fi thing.
You're a fan of Lost, aren't you?
I am a fan of Lost.
I've never seen it, but I remember you talking about it in your. It's been on your live either. Yeah, it's been in your lives. I've heard you and Dave talk about it.
A fair bit. Yeah. I want to do something a bit more substantial about Lost on the channel somehow. But yeah, it's not quite like that. But it's kind of like a hijack story. But I've only just started that, and I've only really just been kind of introducing the character of the guy that's really freaked out by flights anyway, and he's going to be like the point of view character. So there's that, and then there's another one which I need to add some more things to, which I thought was complete, but I've had some advice to change it a little bit, and that's about a clown that goes a bit mad. So yeah, so I've got all those kind of things on the go. And there's another one there's an idea that's brewing, which could be, but I don't know whether to do it or not, but I might, the next Brown Yelp Gang story was going to be a novel, but I might make it into a novella so I can put all those stories together with that story. I don't know. I don't know. Because I would like to make it a novel because I know exactly what the plot of the next Brown Yelp Gang story is. And I've got a cover. I paid for a cover for it as well. And it's a really cool cover. It's got Lazy Riff on it and these 3 siren women that are a big part of the plot. They take over the band and they are stealing songs because they're sirens. Yeah. So that's like the plot, and it's called the Brown Yelp Gang Go to Pieces because they split up and Trent does a solo project. Yeah. So that's the idea, but I could make it into a novel, but I don't know. I might not make it into a shorter thing. So yeah, I've got some things on the fire that I'd like to do.
So when you're doing a short story, because you obviously you've got the idea and you play around with the thoughts and concepts, do you do an actual outline? Like, do you have a file with different notes in it, or do you just kind of wing it and it comes to you as you're sitting and typing or dictating it out? How does that process flow?
It depends on the story. So if I look at the first book, The Breath of Life was not planned out. So I I had an idea and I let it run itself. So I I took my time with it. Yeah. But I let it kind of evolve. Miss Audacity, I wrote quite a lot of notes for. No Sleep Till Corsilia, I did actually write some notes, but a lot of it I changed while I was writing. So I wrote some notes, but I didn't stick to them.
Yeah.
Um,
But you
also
had
later,
the idea there, and then it flowed from that. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I made notes for the characters as well. So it wasn't just the plot notes, but I made
Yeah.
notes about what because Trent's quite arrogant, lazy Riff is useless, and obviously Plex is really like grumpy. So there's lots of sort of elements that I kind of wrote in the notes.
Yeah.
And the drums of the Iroquois I definitely wrote notes on because there were lots of beats in the story. So it's a little bit. It's not as long as the Corsilia one, but it's still a little longer than some of the others. And there's like lots of parts where the plot changes. So I did write notes for that. A couple of them are quite short. The Breath of Life is quite short, and We Need to Talk's quite short. But I knew what I wanted to do. So yeah, it depends really. But a lot of them I wrote notes for, and a lot of them I wrote kind of scene. When I wrote the books, the two novels, the way I did it was I came up with the beats of the plot first, and then fleshed them out a little bit, and then started writing them properly. So it was like kind of one or two sentences for what each chapter would be, and then a little bit more. And then once I'd done a little bit more, I was like, well, okay, let's just tackle it chapter by chapter.
So when you're writing, because I mean, everyone has a different process. I know Nicole, when I've talked to her, she said she can't do that. It just flows. And if it's not flowing, she doesn't write.
Yeah.
Margaret, very detailed notes, but then hers are, because the historical fiction she writes is, of course, research. So she's got notes and sticky tabs and books and all kinds of stuff to make sure that as she's writing her story, she's being accurate or true to not just the characters, but the timeline as well. And so everyone kind of has that different process of what works. And, even with your short stories, like with Brown Yelp, you'd need, I would think, notes with the different characters, because as you're writing them, then you can kind of, Plax is always grumpy. So you're not going to suddenly have him chipper and cheery in a scene, right? Like you're going to stay true to the character.
Well, yeah, and in Miss Audacity, the three girls, they have to. I tried to make them distinctive, but ultimately, there's not a lot in the plot to make them distinctive. So I tried to make the way they relate to each other like different. So it was kind of more subtle, but I was kind of happy with that.
Yeah.
But I definitely wanted to make, I wrote down their names on a bit of paper and how they relate to each other, kind of thing. So I kind of referred back to that to make sure it was consistent, Whereas with with this book, the three boys, I thought I'd made them quite distinctive, and I sent the first three chapters to my mate and said, "Can you read this and tell me what you think?" And he said, "I really like it, but I don't think the three characters are defined enough. They're not different enough." So I was like, okay. So I thought I had done that, but he said he didn't think I had. So I kept that in mind, and then as I was moving forward, made it even more pronounced. So the guy that's being bullied is a very different kind of person to the other two. He's much more sort of academic and swotty, but the two bullies are a little bit like hard men. One of them is definitely dominating the other one, and the other one is like, what did you just say? What should we do? And all that. He's a little bit more, kind of looks up to him. But I got the impression from what my mate said that wasn't really that clear. So I kind of exaggerated that a bit more to make it really obvious, So that's through making notes and kind of like adding to not just the plot points, but the relationships, like you said. So you've got a sense of how you want to, deliver it.
Yeah. Just Kat's left us. She's gone to do adulting. Now she had also Monsters and Weird. Like it already. Losing voice. My head immediately goes to mermaid growing legs to get the prince.
No, it's not. It's not for any good reason. It's a bit more random than that in that story.
Clown's gonna traumatize Noah, and Ven saying nightcap. The other question I wanted to ask, because you were saying with your short stories, and it sounds like you've got bits and pieces going for several stories at once. You don't finish one, start the next, type of thing. Now, when you're writing a novel, do you write it in order? Or do you find you do some chapters and then it just all comes together?
I have to fully commit and write as quickly as I can, because otherwise there's this fear that I just won't finish it. And years ago, I actually started the first thing I ever wrote, and I wrote half of it and then just stopped. It was a comedy fantasy thing called Sorcerers Aplenty. It was really silly, but I was really enjoying writing it, and I just stopped. And I kind of learned, or not learned from that, but I'm kind of aware of it, that if I don't finish it, or if I don't if there's a break in what I'm doing, I might not go back to it. So I am a bit worried about that. But as far as me doing different things and when I start it and what the process is, this stayed in my head. The idea of this book stayed in my head for ages. And it changed completely, because it was going to be a time travel story, and I ended up not wanting to do that, and I ended up just on a different planet, you know, and it's kind of exploring what that planet was like, and they end up getting into trouble with the authorities, because they want to hide them, because on the planet that they're on, there shouldn't be any evidence that there's life on another planet, because it'll upset the religion and stuff like that. So there's all sorts. So these three boys get into a lot of trouble, and one of them gets tortured, and it gets a bit heavy. But there's lots of funny banter and stuff while they're doing that, and they're trying to escape and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of like an adventure thing, but it was going to be a time travel story, and then I didn't want to do that anymore. So and all of these stories were kind of ideas that I stayed in my head for a while until I, started winding down.
Oops. Margaret's ears must have been burning. We've been chatting about Miss Margaret and her works and her books and her research. Flip it 91 here. Yeah, whatever, Margaret. I've got a furnace about ready to click on. Yeah, that's not Ven the other day was out and about, and so he'd sent me a message. Oh, it's so hot. It's so hot here. I messaged him back. Oh, piss off. Like, I've got my windows and doors closed. Like, you stole our heat. I'm glad that you're sweating over there in the UK. Whining to me about it being hot. Please. Oh, really? Yours weren't burning? Skin's been, with those temperatures.
They said on the news that it was the hottest summer we've ever had.
No doubt.
It said if the next few days, but I don't know when the summer's going to end, but in the next few days, whenever the summer ends, they said even if it's the lowest temperature for these days, it will still be a record-breaking summer. So we have had a very hot summer.
I can tell you exactly when summer ends. Margaret's done with her heat, because it's been brutal there every summer. Officially, September 22nd will be Mabon. Margaret will know what I mean. And that is the autumnal equinox. Fall. The day after the live stream for Jack. I'm like, how cool is that? Well, actually, I shouldn't. It's either the 21st or the 22nd. It varies. And that's when the day and the night are exactly half and half equal.
Right.
Compared to winter solstice, longest night, literally the only day you can literally say the longest night of the year.
Yeah, it's that guy messing around with time again.
There you go. And June 21st is literally the longest day. Other than that, you're just talking. But yeah, oh, here we go. Have a friend named Maven. Oh, cool. Who was all woo woo too. Very equilibration type of day. Yes, it is. Autumnal equinox, please. So yeah, that's when we're switching. But our
I
weather
don't
this
like the autumn
year's
so
been
much.
nuts.
I'm a teacher, so autumn's not great. The first term is horrible.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
Well, and see over there, the heat's got to be horrible because none of you have air conditioning.
no,
Like it's
I
not a thing.
this no this honestly this summer, if I was in the house, if I had to go out, I have to put some clothes on because I'm literally not going to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
You know, and that's the only way you could. You know, there's nothing else to cool you down. I mean, you can get little fans. I mean, my wife looks like seven. Where is it? It's a tiny fan, about that big. Slightly different to what proper air conditioning is. I can't
Yeah,
see it, but there's a little tiny fan that's just like that's not really going to do that much good. But she likes having it right by where she sits watching the TV because the TV's just there.
yeah,
But if I'm sitting there, I can't feel it. You know, it's tiny. You know.
yeah. See, and we've had last year was the first we ever got, and we have a. I'm just looking there because it's in my window right there. We've just got a small air conditioning unit that kind of does this room, but then we've got oscillating fans so I can like blow it through here to the rest of the house. And our fur kids know it because they all lay in the hallway because they're of course lower, and so as the fans blowing it out, they're getting. And here's how spoiled our cats are. Xena, not only being diabetic, is also asthmatic. And last year, and she has her little puffer. She actually has her own inhaler. But I know they're so spoiled. But because she was having a rough year last year because it was very hot, and we've always just had oscillating fans. I'm not a fan of AC because if you're not used to the climate, then it's brutal when you go outside. But we decided that our little princess needed air. So we got the window unit last year. And thank goodness, and so even then our house would sometimes be over 80, whatever. But this year it didn't get that high because we had the AC to start first thing in the morning and cool it down. And but yeah, I was thinking when I was hearing about the temperatures over there, you have nothing like that.
Well, when because I don't mind. I quite like it being that hot. I quite like it. So there's a lot of people complain, but then English people complain about the weather all the time. It's either too cold or too hot, or because and we don't have anything that extreme. So we don't have
Yeah.
we don't have earthquakes or tsunamis or
Volcanoes.
volcanoes. We don't have anything like that. So they are kind of whinging about nothing in a lot of ways. But I don't mind it. But if you're a teacher and it gets to the end of term and in the summer term and you're going into June and July and it gets really hot, you can't get them to do anything. They're like, ugh, too hot, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, my room as well, there's an emergency exit, which I'll open the emergency exit doors to get some kind of a breeze in if I can try and get some air in and stuff. And they'll be like, Gareth, can I just go outside and I'll be like, yeah, all right. And then I can't get them back in again. It's just like, come on, you need to. It's too hot. Oh, it's too hot.
Yeah.
So it's not great, that side of it. But I don't mind the heat really. But it does get really, really hot. And you can, if you're like, if you're fully clothed, it's like, it's sweating like crazy, And it's. But when I met MJ in London, she said that. She said, "How can you decide what you're going to wear over here? Because you have like every single season in one day, and it is like that. It could be really cold, and then a few hours later it's really warm, and it's just and it is like that. You don't. It's so difficult to decide what to wear when you go out for a day because seems quite warm. I won't bother wearing a jacket, and then a few hours later you're freezing.
Yeah,
it's really weird. So
it doesn't get quite that extreme here in a day. But you do have to plan ahead sometime because
Yeah.
in the morning it's cold, but it warms up through the day.
Yeah.
Excuse me as my voice goes. But even that has changed because before, noon used to be the hottest point of the day. Used to be. Now there's times where it's been 1, 2 in the afternoon. It's hotter than noon. It's like,
Yeah. I think that's the same for us, really. Like sort of 1, 2-ish, 3-ish, maybe. And it
yeah,
starts getting cooler.
but it never used to be that. And I still say, and yes, I do think climate change has something to do with it. And I've mentioned this with Margaret as well before. The thing that most people aren't talking about is Fukushima. When that reactor went, they literally changed the axis of the Earth. And it wasn't massive, but when you think of the size of the Earth and the angle of the sun, it doesn't need to be freaking massive to have a massive change globally.
Mm.
And that was just in the early 2000s.
Mm.
And our weather is, but I'm not like Mama Laser Cannons from Georgia there, that screwball MGT. Ooh, it's the lasers. They got to stop shooting lasers. It's like, oh my God.
I don't know about that.
Oh, but I do think there definitely is something different because, like I say, I've got 60 years of experience with Canadian weather, and this is not normal with these extremes.
The seasons have definitely changed. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's definitely the climate's changing. There's no doubt about it. You know. And that's not even that's it's really obvious if you go to like the Arctic and you see all the ice caps melting and all that. So this area is not obvious, but you can still see it.
Well, and there's that. And even with the ice caps melting, I mean, they say they know, oh, it'll be this year, that year. And then suddenly, it was a few years ago, and I can't remember the proper name of it. I think it was called Lars B or something. They're like, oh, it's not coming off for a long time. And then, within a year or two, it's like, oh, well, perhaps we miscalculated just a titch there. That's like, of course you did, because you have nothing to compare it to. So Margaret would like to know, do you or did you dress for Halloween as teachers?
Not.
Oh, that must be you and I. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Gareth.
Well, not while we're working. I don't know. There's a World Book Day which people can dress up during World Book Day as characters and stuff, but not really Halloween. I mean, Halloween's kind of different over here anyway. Yeah, we don't like. It's not. It's like an evening thing. Halloween. It's not like celebrated during the day. It's like people go out in evenings and they'll watch horror films.
Do they trick or treat, like door to door?
Trick or treat door to door. So it's like an evening thing. You don't go trick or treating in the afternoon, do you?
There's a human coming behind me.
Hello.
Hi.
This is Gareth. This is
Gareth.
Gareth.
Good? Nice to meet you.
This is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. We've been chatting for hours.
I know. I'm going to go home now before her husband gets home.
Love you, night. He's awesome. Such a maroon.
Yeah, so I think it wouldn't really happen at school or college as much because it's more of an evening thing, you know. So the kids will go home and get ready to trick or treat. They get dressed and all that. But I don't think they do things in the day for Halloween. I mean, the schools will be decorated with Halloween decorations. Yeah, and they'll probably have themed school dinners and stuff. That sort of stuff would happen. But
the kids don't dress up for the day.
Not really. No, they dress up in evenings.
Now, see, here it's a whole day thing. And I sometimes, yeah, I usually dressed up, especially when I was in elementary schools. Um, and as an educational assistant, so I was going between different classes and that. But yeah, in high school, not so much because by high school, the kids weren't really, I mean, some of them were, and you'd have the occasional one that would dress up, but it was more elementary because they had big assemblies and best costumes and all that kind of stuff.
And that age, kids love it more as well, don't they? They get into it. They
Yeah.
start getting, they get jaded after they get a bit older.
Well, and there's that. And because, of course, they're getting excited. They're going to go trick or treating. Now, the one year, because other than Cousin It, which is handy, I just grow it and throw it forward. And I'm dressed up. It makes it easy. The one year, because especially as I was getting more and more into reading about pagan events and learning about Samhain and all of that, the less I wanted to be around muggles that day, mostly because for me it's a day of remembering those who have passed on and a reflection of the past year, what went right, what didn't, and setting my intentions for the coming year, because it's New Year if you follow the Celtic calendar. So it became a whole different day, but I had to be at work if it fell through the week. So this one year I wasn't into it. And so I had on, because we could wear jeans at work, thankfully, especially EAs, because you never know what you're going to end up dealing with or doing. So I had on my jeans and I was dressed down and I had on my dragon necklace with a pentacle and I brought a straw broom with me. And the one kid's like, well, what are you dressed up as? I said, a modern day witch. You got any other stupid questions? No, I'm good. And off they went. You don't need a fancy cloak and a hat. You just need a besom and a pentacle. We're all good. Hey, Leslie. But yeah, so here it was a big thing. But like I say, not so much in the high schools. They were just kind of like, yeah. No, just checking. You've got to.
Talking about kids dressing up, I'd say that in elementary schools, which we'd call primary schools over here,
right,
there'd be more kids dressing up and more costumes and more. They'd have a lot more fun with it than the secondary schools, because the secondary schools are just more cynical and they'd be like, "Oh, sounds like a lot of hassle,"
Yeah. Hottest hour. Okay, so for Margaret, I changed latitudes. Yep. Wonder what could affect it in the same place. Yeah, because from California and where she is now up in Oregon. Some of our teachers did during the day here. Yeah, it was kind of up to individual staff if they
and there might be
or not.
I mean, you might get comments from some English person going, "Hold on a minute, I did." Who knows? So, it's just what experience you get in it.
Yeah, wind farm, space lasers, U.S. politicians, human trick or treating.
Tricking or treating.
Treating, I see. Almost finished with Octavia Butler biography. Talked about her bouts with writer's block. Yep. What do you do if or when the writing isn't coming the way you want it to?
That's a good question. So at the moment, I've got a massive problem, which is a confidence problem. So I'm trying to deal with it. Yeah. I've got huge imposter syndrome, and things like this where you've been really nice about the books, and other people have done that, helped me out to try and get back into the frame of mind, which is like, yes, I can do this.
Good.
So honestly, it really does help. If I'm in the middle of something and I start feeling like that, or something's not quite working, or it's stopped, which did happen it happened in this book, definitely. And there was a moment when there's a moment in this. These are the two biggest, most ambitious things I've written, and in this one, there was a moment when I was struggling to write. I needed something, a narrative device, to show the history of the planet. right?
Yeah.
And it took me weeks to come up with it, and it literally stalled my writing. And I started thinking, oh, this is just not working. It's not happening. And then just slowly it started kind of like, oh, hold on a minute, I could do this, and then if I do this, and then that character could do that, and then that works with that character. Oh, hold on a minute, this is going to work. And then once I started making that happen, then I was back in the thing again. So it was very specific to the problem I had trying to deal with a narrative device I needed. With this one, I had a problem with not about halfway through. I started just telling myself it wasn't that good, which is a problem.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I solved that by reading what I'd already written, and it was making me laugh. And I was like, "Don't be an idiot. Just keep going. It's fine."
Yeah.
So that's a kind of a. I'm not sure that would always work, but for me, that was what helped me out by trying to read it with an open mind, and being able to go, oh, that's fine. You know, you can do this. And then it was like I needed that reassurance from actually looking at what I'd already done. And that's happened even with the short stories. Actually, the longer short stories, I had to keep reading it to get back into the swing of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that.
Nice.
So if that helps, but yeah, that's what I did.
Margaret saying, listen back if you're up for more. Throwing my curious questions in.
Yeah.
Lovely hearts and a sparkle pen. Well, Margaret, I want to read that biography. So that would be the Octavia Butler
Octavia Butler, yeah. Octavia Butler's amazing.
See, I've never read anything of hers, and I need to go through all of Margaret's. I've been for most of the live streams, and there's been a lot of fascinating books that I want to check out, and I'll just need to make a list. And that was the other, and kind of goes back to Kevin's video. I wish I could remember what it was. It wasn't Book Burnout. Like, it had a really good title to it and just talked about the whole booktube thing of,
I think I saw it. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? I think I did see it.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. Stuart just did his response now, but Kevin's original one was a few weeks ago. I'm so far behind on, and that was the other thing that came up in it is watching videos, decision making, the tags, and how do you keep up with all of it, and producing content, and do you get burnt out?
I mean, it's what Sarah from Your True Shelf, she asked me to do or not asked me, but kind of encouraged me to do a video about how to de-stress. Because I said on the video I did about stages of life, the one I did filmed at the seafront, I said that I am now stressing less. And I think it's about giving yourself a break. If you've said, I need to do these 6 things, and you do three of them, it probably doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
I didn't do those 6 things, but doesn't matter. Did you need to do any of them? Have you told yourself you need to do them? Is it something that you can do later? Is it something that you rushed and you shouldn't have done it so quickly because now you need to do them again? There's so many ways of rationalizing that. So actually, you shouldn't have made yourself stress about those 6 things.
Well, and that's an excellent point. And if you don't do it is another good one. And there would be times where I'd be like, yeah, I got to get this done today. And so I'd get it done and it'd be a mess.
Yeah.
Now, and partly because the dealing with chronic pain and the lovely bonus is depression, you've got that double whammy and exhaustion. And in a way, it's a good thing, because if you're achy and you're depressed and you don't feel like doing something, it's like, and you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm going to go read me a book today, and that's going to be waiting tomorrow. And then when I get to it tomorrow, I've actually done it better because I'm feeling better. I'm more interested in doing it. And then I don't have to redo it because I feel better the way I did it. Which, by the way, woot woot, still, it's a little twingy, but I think I'm almost up to something like 4 weeks of pain-free. I've gotten so many things done in the last few weeks that I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, which is awesome. But yeah, if you don't do something, or like even with that Wheel of Time reading thing, none of us are like, oh, well, how come other people didn't do it? And we had these big plans. It's like, you know what? Life happens. People got busy. People had other things to read, and it's all good. You know, like when you asked me about changing the time for the live stream today, it's like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, it's just, obviously I did those
no
different
worries,
things today.
but I mean,
Yeah.
other people would like lose their freaking mind. No, this is the time we said we got to do it. No.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I feel like I need to say something about my pain.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility I might get upset, so I need to.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Take a breath.
I don't talk about it very often. I think I've only talked about it once, maybe on the channel. But the reason why I like gigging so much, one of the reasons why I like gigging so much, is the only time I don't hurt. Because the adrenaline. And
your
all that.
feet, right?
So yeah.
Yeah, you've mentioned.
So yeah, that's one thing that I realized a few years ago, that that was part of the benefit of me doing it. That's the only time when I'm on stage, because I'm not thinking about it. Yeah, and I'll jump up and down, do things that are really stupid because I'm not thinking about it, and then I come off and I can't walk.
Oh my god.
Yeah. My years ago, my son would regularly.
You all right?
Yeah. He sort of lead me home on my, like over the shoulder and all that.
Yeah, so you can.
So I can get home, So I've got to crawl out of the car,
Oh, Gareth.
So yeah, so it can be pretty bad. But when I'm playing, I don't feel it.
Yeah, and you can do the whole.
I can run around on the stage. I can, but it's not, but it's because and then I get punished for it after.
Yeah.
And all the things I'm doing on stage, couldn't do it just before going on stage. It's the adrenaline and the audience and all that. It's mad. But
lovely that you have that outlet and that time. Right? But so then how do you get your feet working and stuff again? Because I mean, you do crazy wild stuff all the time. Like, when do you sleep?
I fall asleep when I don't want to sleep sometimes, but yeah, I get some sleep, and it's only really sleep. Well, I don't know, because nowadays it just doesn't stop. So I was going to say sleep does sometimes stop the pain, but it doesn't really stop anymore. So it's just when I'm playing.
Yeah, and there's nothing that they can do or you can take for it, Gareth?
There wasn't. I keep getting told by Ali that I need to go back and investigate again, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's been a problem for like 30 years. So, but it's got worse. It's like, so if we go back, I don't know, 10 years. If we go back about 10 years, it used to get bad during the day.
Oh, yeah.
But now I wake up with the pain.
Oh. So. Seeing, because mine was from a back injury. Well, mine actually is a remnant of my birth mother. Bless you, sweetheart. Turns out you're not supposed to throw kids, when they're infants, and aim them at fences and shit like that. It messes up their spine when they're just itty bitty. And then it gets worse when the kid grows up and, lifts things, works on a farm, all kinds of stuff, lifting clients and this and that. And so my back just gave out the one day I was bending forward. A kid was slipping on a stool in a bathroom, and it took 60 seconds to change my life. And I was off work for 5 months because I already had the arthritis and shit, right? And I was lucky, though. And I'm very lucky. One, I'm still standing because the prognosis at the time was, once they got the CAT scan and the MRI and all that jazz, they're like, okay, so here's the thing. One day you're going to bend forward and you're never going to stand upright again because I have stenosis in my lumbar, which means the nerves closing off and it could eventually pinch off the nerves to my legs. That was over 10 plus years ago. I'm still standing. I still do my gardening. I do it different. And I have to wear a back brace now, the last couple of years, which I didn't, but I can still do what I love. And I can still get around the house and do things and that. And yeah, the last 4 weeks is probably the first time I've been pain-free in about 5 or more years.
Well, that's
because I had one medication then, because I've tried different things. Even though I hate medication, I prefer to have a life, and it's kind of the only way I can get one, because you can't do much about your lumbar. You can't put it up. You can't, But I had one years ago. It worked for 5 weeks. And then like that, it stopped working. And I'm like, shite. And so the doctor, well, double the dose. So for 2 weeks, I tried that, and I had a nonstop pounding in my head. I'm like, okay, I can't feel the back pain, but I can't function like this day to day. So I had to stop taking it. And I still have no idea. The only thing I know that happened is it was 5 weeks. It was all great. And I have a temper. Another gift from my childhood. But I've worked on it really well. But this one day something happened and I just lost it. Not lost it on somebody, but just, I get mouthy. And that's the day the pill stopped working. And I'm like, shite. And it didn't come back again. Oh, you think I was pissed before the pill stopped working? I was pissed after. I'm like, no. But so yeah, this is finally, but it's still twinging off. So we'll see if it lasts. But yeah, I mean, and I agree with your wife, Gareth. You should go get it checked out and looked at, especially if you're waking up that way.
Yeah, there's several reasons that I should go. So I keep getting a message from my diabetic doctor going, "Can you come in and we can have another assessment?" And I keep forgetting to do it. But at least it's free, right? At least it's free for us.
Well, and I've said, and I was saying to Kat too, and actually I was just joking with my husband, who, yes, that was him, at dinner. And I'm like, you do get, if we were in the US, we'd be living in a farkin' box, because Lord love them, but next life, I've already got my list. Before I date anybody, I am checking that their family history, their medical history, and then I'll decide whether I'll go out on a date, because this love shit, like, dude, really? Oh, well, at least not up here, but we're not living in a box, and thank crikey our house is paid for, because when I was working, like, we've always lived a basic lifestyle, which is good for us. We made sure the mortgage was paid off. So, that's been paid off for over a decade plus. But with him, just in, say, the last 4 years, because, it's been 2 years since I've been stopped driving. So the one night he come home from work, I'm not feeling so good. I think I need to go to Emerge. So I took him to Emerge. That's how I know it's at least 2 years ago because I drove him. And then came home because he was going to call me, and the chairs in Emerge are not comfy to sit in. So then I get the call. Well, he's going in for emergency gallbladder surgery. So thank crikey we got him there. He had the surgery. Then he was supposed to be coming home in a day and a bit, I think. And then that got delayed because his oxygen and stuff was off. So he was in there 3 days. That's what it cost us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then this past few months, he's had to have a procedure on his shoulder because of the scar tissue from a surgery a few years ago. Then he just had his hand operated on. In October, he has to have a second procedure in his shoulder to keep dealing with that scar tissue. And then in 6 months from now, he has to get the other hand done. It's going to cost us all of this. Plus,
it's how it should be.
Yeah, well, plus he's had surgery on his nose. He had this surgery on the shoulder, which is where the scar tissue is. I'm like, Jesus, you're at least 3 freaking houses in the U.S. Like, holy doodles.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But thankfully, yeah. And so, like, at least it's free. Exactly.
Yeah. I should take more advantage of it.
I couldn't even imagine. Yeah. And I agree. 30 years. Like, and I mean, you're so positive and so upbeat. And you do so many things. It's like,
yeah, I hobble around work sometimes, and it's really obvious, and I try to hide it, but I can't hide it sometimes. But when I'm on holiday, and like the rest of the family are going, well, we won't do this because of Dad's feet. We won't do that because Dad. I always say, look, we're going to do what we would do normally, and I'm just going to just have the pain, and it's painful to do stuff, but if I don't do it, I haven't had a holiday. I haven't done anything. So it's like, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, because you walk around like crazy.
Yeah, we walk,
your vlogs.
Yeah, we walk for hours. But what happens is, after a few hours, Ali's going, oh my God, my feet are like killing me. I'm like thinking, yeah, that's happened to me all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I'll give you a little anecdote. It's a really lovely anecdote. And I'll try not to get upset. But a few years ago, before I went to LA, I had the most amazing thing happen with the rest of my band. They just suddenly said to me, "Get in the car. We're going to take you somewhere." I'm going to get upset.
Aww. Take your time.
It's a lovely story, so I will get to the end.
That's okay.
And I was like, "Where are you taking me?" I said, "Don't worry about it. We're going to take you." And they took me to a specialist sports shop that specializes in shoes.
Oh,
and
wow.
They give a proper assessment of your feet. They kind of look at your feet for about, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever, half an hour.
Yeah.
And they said, we know you're going to LA soon. We can't let you go on holiday without getting your feet sorted. So they clubbed together and bought like trainers that would be like 120 quid, 120 pounds. So like crazy expensive, and they all sort of contributed their what they could afford to get them bought. And now so every now and again I have to get these crazy expensive shoes.
Yeah.
But I can't wear shoes. They're trainers. I can't wear sneakers. I can't wear shoes. I can't wear slippers. I can't wear wellies. But it was such an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's really nice. But yeah.
Amazing. See, Gareth's not going to come on anymore. She made me cry on her live.
No, I'm a softie. Sorry.
Yeah, but you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. And what a beautiful story. And And again, right? So you've got your beautiful shoes and lovely people who made sure you had them so you could enjoy your holiday. I've got my back brace, which you normally can't see because if I do wear it, I've got layers. Doesn't work so great for the summer, but it is what it is. And I just use it for yard work so nobody really sees me anyhow. I haven't had to use my cane in a long time, and I used to hate taking that to work because you can't hide it. And the kids would all freak out, going, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "I'm not going off work. I just sometimes need to use it." But I wiggle and have to do things and that. But I got a fancy cane because I thought if I have to use it, it's gonna look damn pretty when I take it out. So it's got all kinds of colors and stuff.
Oh, that's the other thing. Sorry,
That's okay.
Talking about the students. You were talking about the kids, and obviously I've got I don't like calling them kids, like the teenagers. And then when they do their gigs, again, it's another thing where my sort of the adrenaline takes over. I've got to be running around different parts of the venue, make sure they're right backstage, make sure they're right on stage, go in front of them if they're nervous.
Yeah.
Back to where it's being filmed to make sure it's being filmed. Okay, talk to the sound men, talk to the lighting guy, go back to the dressing room, go back to the front of the stage to make sure they're all right. Do it all night, and I just sort of do it. And then when it's finished, I'll get a taxi home, and that's it. I'm on the floor for a good few hours because I can't get up.
Yeah. Well, because again, you're so in the zone, right? And I would be the same. I mean, to be honest, it's the thing I miss about work because I would get to work and I was so busy thinking, especially when I had my resource room and was doing stuff with assistive tech and that. Excuse me. And I was just so into, okay, we've got 4 classes a day. I never knew who was showing up at my door because they'd come from other classes. But, so I had to have stuff there, make sure the computers were up, or I had the laptops, or kids were coming for their assistive tech for their classrooms. And I was just go all day. And the school I was in had an elevator, so that was good because I couldn't do the stairs like I used to. That's what knackers my back more so than other stuff. But then I would come home and I was just on the couch, like wiped. But while I was at work, everyone's like, "Oh, you've got so much energy, and how do you do that?" And I'm like, "You don't see me at home."
Yeah.
It's like I can. It's the same as, and it was interesting because Kevin, I had commented on Kevin's video yesterday is when I finally saw it. Excuse me. And, I was saying about community and the friendships and, that's what it's about. And you just pace yourself. Excuse me. And he's like, "Oh, words of wisdom, good things don't upset you." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't say that." There's things that upset me. I'm just working at them one at a time, right? It's like, just because it's not in my comment or not in my videos, do not think that this is all happy land all the time. I mean, that's the persona you get on screen, right? Because that's what you want to be. Like I've said, when I'm having a crap day, I won't make a video because I believe in, that energy goes out there and I'm not into fake it till you make it. Like, if you're having a good day and you really want to share, then that's when you make a video. But if it's like I don't want to do this, but I said I'd do this, so I'm just going to do this. That's the way you come across.
I've made a video before where I've watched it afterwards. I thought, I'm not putting that out because clearly it wasn't the right day to do it. You think, God, you look miserable, So it's not always the right time, Although apparently, was it Richie, the guy that I formed the band with? I was rehearsing tonight with him and Ian, another guy in the band, and we got a trio gig tomorrow. And first thing he said to me when he got in was, "Oh, Gareth, I saw your last live stream, and you would just come back from Italy, hadn't you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You look knackered." He said, "You look like you're half asleep." Oh, okay, that's good. Great.
Well,
So
but I didn't notice, but
but
I
he did.
mean, you
He said I
just
looked
gotten
awful.
off.
He said, I thought you were asleep. Then you started talking. So, oh, okay.
Oh my God. No, I'm going to have to go back and
I'm
check.
gonna have a look. Yeah. It's like, what? Yeah. So sometimes it's not always good.
Yeah. Margaret, positive obsession, been a revelation, makes me want to give myself a break. I'm guessing that's one of those book titles from the things. This must be my pain-free.
There's a song we're doing tomorrow that we're bringing back. It's a song from a song from the album that we'd made called People Who Are Like All Over. It's a song I wrote about a change I was having in my career. And the chorus is, and whatever it is, and whoever I am only human. I can only do so much.
Yeah.
That's the chorus. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
No, if I ever meet Gareth, I not bring to a shoe specialist. Oh, in real life.
Yeah. I would love to meet him in real life.
That'd be
the irony
awesome.
is, I mean, not to be like to go down this negative trail, but when they did do that, because that was 2018. No, 2000. When did we go? 2018. Yeah, 2018. I put them on, and it felt different, and it gave me an extra kind of hour or so of walking, and now I wear the same kind of shoes, and it makes no difference. It's just constantly hurts. So
just over time.
Yeah. So it's funny that it's got that worse over those last sort of 6 years.
But you also imagine the amount, and see, people so take for granted their feet. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's even more so than the section of my lumbar, because I can at least lay down or whatever. But your feet, you need them to get from A to B.
Yeah.
I mean, I need my back to hold to get from A to B, but you literally need your feet A to B.
I'd hate to be in a wheelchair, because when I was recovering from COVID, I was in a wheelchair for a little while, and the rest of the family, my two kids and my daughter's husband and Ali, took me to Chichester for a day out. It was like, we'll take the wheelchair, we'll go out for the day. Yeah, and that's the only day I've ever gone out with a wheelchair, because the rest of the time I just thought, no, I'm going to try and walk. But it was horrible. I was like removed from all the conversations. I could only see whatever it was that my chair was pointing at. Yeah. And, my son did most of the pushing. He was amazing, but it's still a horrible thing to be stuck in a wheelchair. So
don't say that. I might end up in that one day.
So yeah, me too. But I don't know. Because I literally, when I was in those few weeks after coming out of the hospital from COVID, I couldn't walk, and even though that was still the case, I was like, look, if it takes me 20 minutes to get to that shop, a few shops down, I'm going to do that rather than get in a wheelchair, because I can't deal with that, So it was madness, And then we had a holiday booked in Wales, in North Wales, and we took the wheelchair, we took it in the car, but it was all like waterfalls and rocky mountains and stuff. It was just like, you can't use a wheelchair there anyway. So if the idea of being forced to be, that'd be awful. So you can't take for granted the fact that you can walk, if you can walk.
Exactly. And that's why I say I'm luckier than most. I'm still upright, and I mean, I do all kinds of stupid shit. and I lift stuff and everything else, and they were freaking out when I was in my resource room and that. So, you're not supposed to be lifting that. You're not supposed to be doing that. And it's like, whatever, I still can. So I am. So don't bug me. But like Margaret's saying too, her mom went in for a fancy cane because, if you got to use it, it may as well look good. But that's the thing, is I can still garden. I've had to find different ways to do it. So Now I got a smaller shovel because I can't stand up and dig the way I used to. So I sit down and do it. When I do my earthing videos, some of them, I didn't do so many this year, but last year I had some where I was actually, and I'd speed it up to show, here I'm starting. This is what I'm doing. Oh, look, I found a worm. I'm going to have to put him to the side because my gardening takes forever because I do it by hand. And yeah, if I, dig up a worm or I found a spider with her egg, I wait till the spider goes moving somewhere else or I rebury the worms. But I also in those videos mention I have on my back brace. And the reason I mention it is if there are other people out there who have arthritis in their spine and they love gardening, I don't want them to think they can't keep doing it. It's like, yes, I've had to change how I do things. I sit, I'm careful that I don't bend forward, but when I've got my back brace on, I can't. Because that's the whole point of those metal things.
Someone might see that and you might make a huge difference in someone's life by just really subtle message like that. They're watching that thing, oh, I can do that.
Hopefully. I mean, that's kind of what I figure is. And like I say, I'm lucky. I mean, would I wish it on anyone else? Well, there's probably a few, but then there's karma. So, I don't. Except I do love but it's in my other room, so I can't show you. But it was years ago, I got this plaque at a shop called Green Earth, which sadly is closed. But it says, karma helps me sleep at night because I know the people I treated badly today had it coming. Yes.
That's funny.
I should go with that version of karma than that bullshit be nice to jerk people because karma. But I mean, again, right? And there's another channel. Oh, I'm gonna have to, because I haven't seen Matt lately, and I know it's Creative something, and I need to mention his channel. And talk about an inspiration. And I don't think he's produced anything lately, but he's also in the States. And I'm so worried about him because he lives in a nursing home. He had a stroke before he was in his 30s, and he's still trying to recover. And he'd started a YouTube channel a while ago, and he does beautiful artwork. And I know Cliff knows him as well. Cliff Dark's Gems, and Jen from Literally Love 123 is how I met him. And just such a sweet, sweet individual, but Lord knows what's happening in the States with nursing homes and care and everything else. And I know he was just finishing, I think it's college, university, working on things there. But he had an amazing video. And he did a reaction to it, which made it even more astounding. It was a number of people who had various issues, whether it was emotional, psychological, different disabilities. There was one woman who had been injured can't remember if it was a skiing or something accident. And so they were having a forum, and they'd all put forward questions about, how do you feel, or things that you deal with, or did you ever think you wish you had died instead of surviving? Like really tough, hard-hitting questions. And the person who asked the question would go to the front of the group, or they'd put out the question, and then, the people in the forum would either put up their hand. I think there was only about 10 of them. So people would put up their hand if they felt that way, and then the person who had asked the question would go to the front of the group. And so, they found out that, yes, some of them had wished they hadn't survived what happened, or, they had feelings of depression or felt such an amazing, and I really need to share out that video at some point because,
yeah, do a community post.
Yeah, because, I mean, again, people who, and I really realized it when I was out with my cane, like people just don't get it. And, I'm sure, I mean, watching you in those vlogs, you'd never imagine you have so
No.
much difficulty going
No.
point A to B, right?
No.
For
'Cause that's the thing,
myself,
I don't like talking about it. Like, even I don't like talking about it to Ali or whatever, you know.
yeah,
And if they go, "How are your feet?" I'm like, well, let's not talk about it. You know, I don't talk about it.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and with my back, and I think because I was around the students when it happened, and like I couldn't not talk about it, right? Because I either had the
Yeah.
cane, people knew I was coming back
Mhm.
from a disability, 5 months of disability, all of that. Had people watching me, not in a bad way, more like, "Are you okay?" And it's like, I'm fine. But I mean, there were times because I can only sit or stand for so long, and I wiggle, move around, all the rest of it. But at work, I would try not to do that because I didn't want people to know, right? And because it's your spine, people can't see. So they just assume that you're fine because they can't get in your head and they can't feel what's going on. And the one day I know I snapped at him because when I'm home and I'm by myself or it's him, like I'll wiggle and I'm doing stuff, and he was just being a smartass and imitating me. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, you know, you're sitting there doing this." I'm like, "Look, you jerk. I have to behave when I'm at work. I'm not going to do it when I'm at home." And he's never done that again. I'm like, no, when I'm out in public, then I'm like, you know, I'll sit a certain way and I behave, and I don't do that. I try sometimes to my detriment to not look different or feel like I need help or whatever. But when I'm at home, it's like I live in pajamas. Like that's the one upside is, you know, I don't have to squeeze into a pair of jeans or something because
Yeah.
if it rubs on my hip, then I'm just like, yikes. Pajamas. I could have worn some of these pajamas to work now because now they schmancy. It looks like you're wearing clothes. but it is hard to talk about that, and I always find it amazing. It's usually individuals like us and Matt and others who have these day-to-day things, and I'm looking at some of these other people going, "What the hell are you bitching about?" Like, geez. And that's not to belittle what's going on with them, but it's like, and I even said, because I hate going to the doctors, and I have to go once a year because of the meds. And that's the only reason I've seen this putz for years, because I have to go once a year for meds. I haven't been sick. I'm like, if it wasn't for this damn section of my spine, I wouldn't even need a damn doctor. And that's a good thing because the other one uses up all the health care in the country. But I said, when I was there the last time with the assistant, I'm like, you know, the putz that's going to be sitting in this chair here shortly wouldn't last 3 farking days in my condition. I know that for a fact. And he wouldn't. He'd lose his freaking mind. It's like, ay. Oh, here, Margaret. I think it's called masking, as in we don't let people know.
Yeah.
But you know, it's how we get through the day and we function.
Ooh.
Speaking of worms, it's a rather unexpected animal guest in my secret project vlog. Ooh.
A worm, possibly.
Yeah. Labyrinth. I just thought of David Bowie. I love that Cockney worm. I'm going to have to watch that now. He cracks me up.
Nah, I'm just a worm.
Yeah. Part of what makes me so mad? Lifted trucks, hitches sticking out into the sidewalk. Yeah. Trying to, real disability wake up. Ouch. Yeah. And see, I'm lucky and I had been for a while. I don't wake up stiff. That comes later in the day, which is bizarre because they say this whole motion is lotion. I'm like, you people full of shit. Apparently, not. It's good to have work that takes you out of yourself for sure. Yep. As long as you don't overdo it. And that's the...
Well, it's just the way it punishes you afterwards as well, though.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I know I have to be careful with lifting and that and the way I lift. And Bob's so sorry. I convinced him to take the carpet out decades ago because I don't like the house stagnant. And I have this whole energy thing, but no, it's not feng shui or anything technical. It just has to feel right to me. And if it doesn't feel right, then the room got to change. And because we don't have carpet, I can do it when he's at work. He used to tell people constantly he's terrified of going blind. And they'd look at him and they're like, why? He's like, she is forever changing this house. I can't find things. I wouldn't know where the furniture is. I'd be knocking into things all the time. And because he can't stop me because he's at work. And I'm here by myself. So if I decide, I don't like
pottering about.
Yeah, I don't like the way this room feels, I'll move the couch and all kinds of stuff, and I can just push it along the floor. And well, Panther likes to supervise. Ghost used to do it before. So when I'm moving things, they got to hop on top of it because where's Mom taking this now? Is this going to work for me? So, I mean, we can do the things we love, do things we enjoy, and that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, my nose is starting to run now because of Rosie.
Rosie's been hanging out with you.
Yeah, I'm starting to go. But it's now almost 3 o'clock. So
yeah, and it's been almost 4 hours. And we didn't even totally get to Brown Yelp Gang. How good are we?
Well, maybe everyone has been watching. It's like, I need to buy that book,
Let's hope so. I mean, we did a good plug right at the get-go. So even if they only rewatch the first part, they know all the titles and where to find you.
We're only talking to Margaret now anyway, aren't we? So
I have no idea because sometimes it says how many are there and sometimes it isn't accurate. I know that happens on cats too. There always seems to be ghosts that, it says there's only, Margaret's gone according to this now, but hard to say. But anyhow, thank you so much for your time in this lovely conversation. It has been fun.
Thank you. And thanks for inviting me on. And it's been great.
There you go. Margaret says she is still here. Thanks so much. Yes, go rest indeed. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm going to hit the end stream. And